The second half of our doubleheader sees the Elks in Regina looking for their second straight win, while the Riders just want to move on from what happened in Winnipeg. It is lights out in Regina. Get your sunglasses ready. It's going to be big. Has this man been as of late? 990 passing yards, 6 TDs, 401 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs since week 10. What does Trey Ford have in store for us tonight? Meanwhile, Jake Dolegala hoping to get his Riders back on track. Just 113 yards passing against the Blue Bombers, a game I'm sure everyone would like to forget in Regina. And it is a visual gorgeous, are you ready for this? Extravaganza tonight in Regina as Mosaic Stadium is going to be lit up. It's lights out, and it is pretty fantastic. Alongside David Sanchez, Jim Barker, Milt Stegall as we get set for the Riders taking on the Elks. And Trey Ford has been the story of the CFL and recently, and he's been great, electrifying, using his legs so much. But the question is, how do the Riders slow him down tonight, Chess?
The Riders have a front four that can handle it. That's going to be the key. Is this group, can they contain Trey Ford? And they will with their physicality. That's how they're going to do it. This crowd is going to play a factor. They're coming. They have a bad taste in their mouth after last week. Yep. Certainly, I expect, if you have a physical front and you can play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, it definitely gives you a chance to be effective.
They're physical. That limits their athleticism a bit in tackling him in the open field. I think the secondary, Nick Marshall is known for jumping routes, and he's going to see a few sluggos and hitch and goes tonight from these guys, because the Elks need some big plays, Milt. Right. They need to make some big plays to win this game. It's going to be a tough crowd, and again, I think that secondary's got to be solid.
Success they've had making those big plays, and because of that, if I'm the Saskatchewan Roughriders, I'm going to force them to nickel and dime it. I'm going to give up a first down every now and then. Just try to keep everything in front. See if Trey can be patient. See if he can go without wanting that big throw, that big play. See if he can do that. So, like I said, you may have to give up some first downs, but you don't bend.
You see a corner out there, number 3. You think he wants to let you nickel and dime him?
I know. I understand that. He just talked about Nick Marshall, but you got to be patient. Yeah, if you give too many lanes to this young man with the way he can run the ball, with the way he can scramble and look downfield, it's going to be difficult.
By the way, there is another game currently going on. A bit of a shocker so far. The Montreal Alouettes up 2013. That's on TSN 3 and 4. But we will get you to Regina right after this.
The second half of our Friday night football doubleheader brings us to a beautiful evening in Regina with the Riders and Elks set to meet for the 3rd time this season. Saskatchewan looking to bounce back after an ugly loss in the Banjo Bowl. They have won 3 games in a row at home. They've beat Edmonton twice so far this year, but that was before the keys to this offense in Edmonton were handed off to Trey Ford.
Yeah, 25-year-old Trey Ford, who played his college ball at the University of Waterloo, and I think it's fair to say he's been trending of late. He is set a record for Canadian quarterbacks rushing the football a couple of weeks ago against Calgary. There's Jake Dolegala. He gets the start tonight for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 2-2. This is start number 5 for him in his career, start number 4 in a row here in Saskatchewan.
Craig Dickinson has had a ton of success against Edmonton in his career, 8 11-1. His team has won 9 of the last 10 in this head-to-head matchup. On the other side, Chris Jones against his former club, just an even 500, 5-5. How about this start for Edmonton? In their last 5 games, 36-8. They've outscored the opponent in the first quarter in their last 5 games. So they've had some excellent starts, have finished a few of those, but not against the Riders so far this season. Saskatchewan won the coin toss, deferred to the second half. Edmonton decided to take the football, and we are underway at Mosaic. Thank you very much for joining us here on this beautiful Friday night. Sims takes it just inside his own 20. Back to about the 25. And we'll get our first look at Trey Ford.
Well, a couple weeks ago in the Labor Day matchup against Calgary, set a record for Canadian quarterbacks rushing the ball in one game, 135 yards there, and coming off a great fourth quarter in the rematch where he rallied Edmonton to the big win against the Stampeders. So yes, Trey Ford has been trending, a very special athlete. How Saskatchewan tries to handle his running ability will be a big part of this game tonight.
3-2 in games that he has started. The 2 losses, they had leads and let them slip away against Winnipeg and Calgary. 1st and 10 on the Edmonton 26. They start on the ground, and a nice push ahead by Kevin Brown, who's coming off a huge week last week when he went for a career-high 143 as part of this Edmonton offense.
Yeah, offensive line playing well since Trey Ford inserted into the lineup, and Mark Corte, the leader of that group, just signed a contract extension. Excellent for him and his future with the football team. Gavin Cobb will start for Stephen Dunbar at slot back. His second start of the season, but first in that spot.
3-year contract for the center, Mark Corte, a local guy back home playing in front of family. Happy to extend his deal. Cornelius into the game, pushing straight ahead. And a pretty good stop. Good effort by the Riders defense. Looked like he had a little bit of an initial push and then was thrown backwards, and this will be close.
May have to do it again. So I'm sure Chris Jones being just inside of a yard on that try. If it is ruled just short, and they have given it to him.
Cornelius actually has short yardage touchdowns in 4 consecutive games. So he's adjusted to his new role and executed it extremely well. Ford, same thing, adjusting to his new role and doing a pretty darn good job with it. He's averaging 80 yards per game on the ground in these 5 starts. So a little bit of a unicorn out there is Trey Ford. Up to the Edmonton 36. Has a ton of time. Now flushed out of the pocket, takes off on the run, and just lunges ahead just outside the 40 against the Saskatchewan Roughriders defense.
Well, they get Pete Robertson back up front. He has served his 1-game suspension and will start at defensive end. 5 sacks on the season for Robertson. Then you go into the secondary. Second start coming off the injured list. 1 game injured for C.J. Rivas. Important in the coverage aspect of this game. And Jackson Ford gets a second start at safety. Tremaine Washington, the veteran of 6 years in the CFL, plays for Deontay Williams tonight at halfback.
5 yards in that first down scramble from Ford. So they need 5 more. 4 options, wide side left. Riders are going to bring some pressure. Ford down the field looking for Geno Lewis, working against Marshall. And that one not close, falls incomplete. And that will force Edmonton to punt the ball here early in the first quarter.
Yeah, this Saskatchewan team coming off obviously the tough rematch in Winnipeg, where their offense barely saw the field and their defense gave up 6 straight touchdowns and 6 straight drives to Zach Collaros. So decent start here to bounce back from that and get their offense on the field as quickly as possible.
Jake Julian, rookie out of Eastern Michigan, here on 3rd and 5, set to let it fly from around the Edmonton 30. Gets it away cleanly. Alford steps ahead, takes it at the 26. Mario Alford with some space on the far side of the field. This could be trouble. Gets to midfield. Finally forced out at the 45. Instant field position. from Mario Alford as he gets the job done here in the early going. Edmonton did actually a pretty good job getting over there to force him out of bounds. A couple of return touchdowns already on this season. Not this time, but a nice return. Well, I think we can file this one under things you don't see every game.
And Isaiah Shackle here trying to get loose from A.J. Allen, I believe, and the helmets get tangled up. Now, Shankle can't play once his helmet is knocked off, and A.J. Allen wasn't sure what to do. I don't know. What do I do now?
Slightly awkward. Riders will start on the ground. Jamal Morrow finds some space all the way up. Still going. First down, Riders. Nice start to the game for Jamal Morrow.
Felt like Jamal Morrow was trying to send a message to his coaching staff on this run, just saying, hey, let's get to the run game early and often in this one against the Elks. The Elks have struggled against the run, and in fact are last in the league, giving up about 140 yards a game.
Game script didn't help last week, but just 7 carries for 36 yards for Morrow. They'll go back to him here again. Ran out of space. Short pickup on first down for the running back this time.
Yeah, you know, that game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you can't really put on the offense and Jake Dolegala. They just weren't on the field. I mean, Zach Collaros put together drive after drive that ended in touchdowns. In fact, Dolegala basically threw 15 completions in an entire game in the Banjo Bowl.
107 passes in a row without throwing an interception for Dolegala, who's done a good job looking after things thus far. 3-man rush, far side of the field, drops one in there just outside the 20 for Sean Bain Jr. That's his first catch of the ball game, close to a first down.
Inside receiver Sean Bain. It's sort of Batman and Robin out there on the side, that short side of the field. Bain with the catch there on the quick out. Him and Tevin Jones. Jones would be Batman. Bain would be Robin.
1-2 punch there. Excellent season so far. Emelis on the other side. Schaefer Baker starting to get ramped back up here as well. Finally getting back in the lineup a few weeks ago. After a close look at it, they do award the first down. 1st and 10 from the Edmonton 21. Morrow again cuts it right back up the middle. And Morrow obviously a huge piece of this Riders starting offense.
Well, our offensive line gets Evan Johnson back at his familiar left guard position. Missed one game due to injury. And you mentioned Keon Schaefer Baker. I think he is due. It's start number 4. He has contributed. He had a touchdown against BC in his first game back. But, you know, I think he's due for a big one. And, you know, it's about this time when you're coming off the injury list, 2-3 games in, that you really feel like you're back.
10 catches since returning, 6 of them last week, so maybe he's heating up here. Dolegala has his running back open, goes down the field instead, and that one knocked away. And now the ball is still bouncing around. It's going to be picked up, still bouncing. Somebody grab it, and eventually it's out of bounds. We've got something to sort out on this play. Was that a catch and a fumble, and then a mad scramble for it after?
Well, because the officials didn't blow a whistle,
yeah,
the play continued as if it was ruled a fumble. We'll hear the announcement here, but let's take a look. Was possession gained, and then this was a fumble?
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd down.
Emelis was clearly down on the ground, and then it's batted away.
And he used the ground to help him catch it. So that's why it's incomplete pass. And the officials did the right thing by not blowing the play dead. Let it play out, see what happens here, and then you can go back and take a look. And clearly he used the ground to help assist him in that catch. That wasn't a catch.
Marcus Lewis there in coverage, working against Emelis. We'll see if they see a lot of each other this evening. Brett Lawther out here with a chance to open the scoring. 26-yarder just inside the left hash. And he's able to knock it through. Riders on top here early. 3-0. Another crack at it for Trey Ford, who has been dynamic and essentially turned the season around, maybe the franchise around in Edmonton. He'll have the ball when we return. Well, after letting the Labor Day game slip away, Edmonton ended up returning the favor to Calgary last week in absolutely thrilling fashion, ending with this Dean Faithful winning field goal and the wave after. For more on that, let's send it down to Britt Dorff.
Yeah, I asked Chris Jones, how was your team able to get it done last week? And he said, that's a good question, Britt. We're still trying to figure it out because, like you guys mentioned, the week prior, they were the team leading and they ended up losing. So I talked to Trey Ford about the Dean Faithful kick to win and all, and he said, you know, most guys couldn't look, but I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And that celebration, apparently Trey Ford's been going around the locker room all week, giving the wave to his teammates, imitating him to kind of keep him amped up. So I asked Trey Ford, well, if you run it in for a touchdown tonight, can we expect a celebration? He said, I'm not much of a selly guy, but maybe I'll give one final wave as a nod to Faithful. So, guys, we're anxiously awaiting to see if Trey Ford will do it.
Just one of those things a team can rally around partway through a season, right?
Well, the locker room went off, and Faithful was on the top of the shoulders of his teammates.
Ford keeps it himself this time. Short pickup on first down. We were talking about that locker room celebration, and this is after an on-field interview, gets in there with the rest of the team and heave him up.
There he is. I love it. Well, and listen, that win keeps the playoff hopes in the West alive. They've got to win tonight or they're eliminated from the West playoffs. A huge game for the Edmonton Elks here tonight. If they don't win tonight, their only hope to make the playoffs is a crossover. Hamilton wins 2, that's over.
2nd and 7. 4-man rush. Ford takes off again, trying to find some space. He's got a first down this time, midfield, and steps out at the Rider 50. First big play of the game for the Edmonton quarterback.
Yeah, this is the bind that Anthony Lanier is in here. If he gets too far upfield, he opens an escape lane between the guard and the tackle. If he stays on the line of scrimmage, he's not providing pressure on the passer. So that's the dilemma that defensive ends face when they face a guy as quick and fast escaping as Trey Ford.
Calgary really faced that a couple of weeks ago when he ran for 135 yards in that ball game. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Brown trying to kick it out, wrapped up by Christmas and taken down after a short pickup on first down.
I mean, what a huge fourth quarter. So, you know, if things aren't going well early for Trey Ford, it hasn't affected him. So that's maturity beyond his years of experience. When you look at the first 3 quarters in the big comeback against Calgary, he went 4 of 10. He had only 21 yards passing, and then that fourth quarter just exploded. Got his legs going, got Geno Lewis going. Big comeback win.
Bill Country been slammed for about an hour even before the game started. None of them will remember a thing. 2nd and 7. Ford down the field to the 10. Almost one-handed, incomplete. Was looking for the second-year player Gavin Cobb, but he couldn't haul it in, and that'll bring up 3rd and 7.
What an accurate throw, though. He had to get it outside of the coverage, which was real good on the sideline. Basically can't cover it any better for Jeremy Clark to be on that inside shoulder, but Cobb has a chance at it because it's on the outside where only Cobb can get to it. The accuracy on that throw was bang on. Cobb just needs to get both hands on it.
This would have been a very long field goal attempt. So instead, they will kick it away. Play this field position game. However, Mario Alford can always flip things in a matter of moments. This will hang up there. Bounce at the 10. Taken off the one hop by Mario Alford, and he steps out of bounds. Jake Dolegala, with a 3-0 lead. He is unbeaten at home so far this season since taking over at quarterback for the Riders. Well, I had mentioned a little bit earlier, it's been good times here at Mosaic for Jake Dolegala so far.
Well, this team has been a lot better on the road, and Jake Dolegala, look at the passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions. He certainly hasn't hurt the team with interceptions over the last couple of games. And again, wins in starts against the BC Lions and Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Early diet of Jamal Morrow for this offense against Edmonton's starting defense tonight. Let's take a look at that group.
When you struggle against the run throughout the season, you're going to be tested every game, and that's where AC Leonard and group have to be shoring up that run defense. But he does have 10 sacks on the season. That's 2 behind the leader in Matthew Betts in Vancouver. Niles Morgan, second in the league in defensive tackles with 81, and Marcus Lewis is tied with Purifoy for the lead, for their team lead in interceptions with 3, 1 against the Riders.
2nd and 4. Dolegala with time, deep shot down the field, almost hauled in, and then it picked off the other way, bouncing into the hands of Lewis, his 4th interception of the season. Holy smokes, looked like Emelis might have it, and he puts it right back into the arms of Marcus Lewis. A gift for the Elks.
Great route, nothing fancy about it from Sam Emelis here. He's just going to run this skinny post. And what a throw by Dolegala to go about 70 yards in the air and drop it right in the hands of Emelis, who tips it up, can't grab it. And Marcus Lewis says thank you. Now he is down by contact, so the Elks will start on their 20.
Right place, right time for Lewis. Emelis has hauled in a few like that so far this year, so a rare miscue. And Edmonton will take over, back into the hands of Brown, right up the middle. And about 4 or 5 on that first down carry.
He has made some spectacular catches on deep balls, and Emelis just faded inside a little bit too much, so it kind of went over the outside shoulder, maybe crossed him up. But that's tremendous concentration for Marcus Lewis, who gets number 4 on the season. And as I mentioned, that's 2 now against Saskatchewan, but Dolegala threw that thing about 75, 80 yards.
Heaved it down the field. And it ends up bouncing off the hands of Emelis to Edmonton. 2nd and 6. Ford has a completion for a first down up to the 35 as he goes to his running back, Kevin Brown. First completed pass of the game for Edmonton.
Watch Lanier here. Remember when he got upfield? He was all the way upfield here, and Trey Ford escaped underneath. Watch what he does here. Now this is what he's going to try and do to control his rush and make sure he doesn't give up that contain on the outside. Problem is for Saskatchewan and their defense, he's not getting any pressure on Ford, and he can throw that crosser.
From the Edmonton 36. Ford dumps it off. Brown waiting for it, and that is intercepted the other way. Rivas gets it. Once again, a fortunate bounce, and he's right there to take it away. Some wild times at Mosaic.
Offsetting interceptions.
Back to where we started a few moments ago.
But plus territory now for Saskatchewan's offense, so they were deep in their own end on the interception. Get this one on the tip, and it just looked like it bounced off the hands of Kevin Brown. He's going on the screen. It's a design screen play, a little bit high, can't corral it in, and CJ Rivas drops right in his lap.
First interception of the season for CJ Rivas. From the Edmonton 29, Riders right back at it. Jamal Morrow pushing ahead, staying on his feet. First down inside the Edmonton 20. Another big burst ahead for Jamal Morrow, averaging over 7 yards per carry to start this game.
Real smooth cuts there for Jamal Morrow. Just kept it low center of gravity, hit the line of scrimmage, and watch how smooth he's running here. Just nice little inside cut there, another cut to the inside, protects the football. Enough for a new set of downs.
Morrow to the sideline. Frankie Hickson into the game. He'll stand in next to his quarterback, Dolegala. Into the red zone go the Riders. Hickson, far side of the field, takes it down inside the 15 before he too is wrapped up. Frankie Hickson been dealing with some injuries throughout the year. We've seen him, when he does get opportunity, though, he can certainly take advantage of it.
TJ Brunson was injured on defense, so that's one of the reasons Frankie Hickson was put on the roster for this game tonight. Get a report on the health of Jamal Morrow.
2nd and 6. Dolegala towards the end zone. Touchdown, Riders! Into the hands of Sean Bain. His 3rd strike of the season. And Saskatchewan goes up by 9.
Dolegala knifes this one in. He just puts the ball on Sean Bain, who's again running a skinny post or attack in the middle. Purifoy is looking to his right and trying to help on that side, so it's a backside seam route. But he just puts it on him inside of Ed Gainey.
And Lother just sneaks that one through. Quick 3 plays, 29 yards after the interception by Rivas. And the Riders on top by an even 10.
Outstanding patience on this route from Sean Bain. He's going to be right here, and Bain is going to not try to get inside and run that skinny post. In fact, he's going to go out and around all the way to the post on the veteran Ed Gainey. So Gainey, if he's got inside position, he doesn't think this throw is possible. But Sean Bain just keeps working towards that middle, no safety to help. And Dolegala puts it right on the 1 and the 5.
I mentioned right off the start of the game, Edmonton had only allowed 8 first-quarter points total in their last 5 games. And the Riders have hung 10 on them here in the first quarter tonight. Quiet week last week for Bain, just the 1 catch that went for 10 yards, but he's now over 700 yards on the season, leads this team in catches and targets, been a big part of it, in an elevated role since coming over from Calgary. There goes Sims to the 30, 35, decent return, put them just shy of the 40 with 1:14 on the clock here in the first.
Well, it was a come from behind win for Edmonton in the rematch against Calgary. They don't want to get in a habit of trying to have to do that. So sense of urgency, even though it's just down at the end of the first quarter for Trey Ford here, to just get a few first downs, get in plus territory. Even a field goal sort of slows momentum.
Ford out to his right, behind Mitchell. He reached back and got it with one hand, and then is pushed out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
I don't notice any real spy technique going on from the linebackers as Trey Ford gets outside and wants to lead his receiver. Those kind of throws give him a chance to maybe get some yards after the catch, but haven't seen any real spy technique from the linebackers for the Riders just yet.
Great crowd on a beautiful night, 16 degrees at kickoff here in Regina. Ford wide open. Former Rider Kyron Moore up to midfield, just shy of the Saskatchewan 50 before he is tracked down by the Riders defense.
Just real controlled rush, giving him more time in the pocket for him to stand back there and Trey Ford to find his receivers. Even Micah Tights, number 43 in the middle of your screen, he doesn't want to really fully blitz. He's sort of just playing at the line of scrimmage. Good start to this drive and an important one for the Elks.
We'd like to welcome everybody joining us after a thrilling finish between the Argos and Alouettes. Riders leading here by 10. Kevin Brown trying to change that all the way down to the 30. Still going. Brown to the 20 before he is taken down. And a big play by Kevin Brown as he picks up where he left off last week. And Edmonton is in business, trailing by 10 after the opening quarter. Dolagala to Bain. Riders on top at home. Once again, a picture-perfect Friday night here at Mosaic Stadium in Regina. And well, thank you very much for joining us coming off that other game, which was a sensational way to start a Friday night of football. We'll bring you up to speed on what's happened here so far. And 10-0 the Riders lead, but a very eventful opening quarter.
Well, it's a little bit wild for the offense as Jake Dolagala wants to go bombs away here. Just throws a beautiful 70-yarder to Sam Emelis. Lays it out there for him. It tips off his hands to Marcus Lewis, so that's an interception. Very next series, Trey Ford, a little bit high on the screen to Kevin Brown. That's intercepted by C.J. Rivas. And then Dolagala finds Bain in the end zone. And we're sitting at 10-0 with the Elks driving in an important drive even early in this game.
Kevin Brown in this game, 4 carries, 49 yards. Ford's got 24 yards on 3 carries. Most of Edmonton's offense on the ground thus far. Now they'll get it to Kyron Moore. He's got a little bit of room, takes it down to the 15, now the 10, and that is where he is upended and taken down by Washington.
This will be close to the marker, not sure. Got the full 10, looks like they're marking it just shy of the first down.
Well, important to have a response after that interception that led to points the other way for this Edmonton offense. Cornelius in the game for short yardage.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to get down 2 scores. You know it's early in the game, and Chris Jones' team in position for points. The first down first and take it from there.
Riders had a pretty good pushback last time. Now Cornelius wants to throw it to the end zone. Touchdown AC Leonard. Flag on the play, but Cornelius drops it in to the former Rider. Let's go!
Boy, they love this play. We'll see what the flag is.
Penalties declined.
It's against Saskatchewan. It's a touchdown and it counts. The big boys love this play, whether it's an old lineman that gets involved in one of these type of plays or a D lineman, AC Leonard, who used to be a tight end, and he's over there to the right of your screen. Little fake. Cornelius sells it big time.
Little
faking into the line of scrimmage and then backs out of there. And the guys love to even practice those kind of plays, let alone have them work in a game.
Faithful to make it a 3-point game early in the second quarter. And that is exactly what he does. What an entertaining football game so far. This is great.
It really is. There's your tight end and AC Leonard. Will grab there too because he gets in behind the coverage and short yardage. But I like how Cornelius sells it and then drops out of there. He's done it before though, so it's something that the Riders would have scouted for sure.
It was Tremaine Washington, 28 there on the Riders, who had held Leonard a little bit and couldn't get back there.
Cornelius also just kind of laying it out there so that AC Leonard could run underneath it rather than try to throw it right to him.
AC Leonard's great season continues. Among the league leaders in sacks.
Hey, this man makes plays. This man makes plays. Big time.
On both sides of the ball, apparently.
Yes, he does. Jamin Pelly with the vote of confidence there. Alford on the return to the 30. Tiptoes along the far sideline, just shy of the 35. And now an opportunity the other way here for the Riders to answer back.
Yeah, and you know, that was a big drive. Trey Ford got things going, got the offense. Kevin Brown contributing. A couple of throws there from Ford, and then that final play to AC Leonard. So tightens things up. And the other thing it does is quiet the crowd a little bit. May help the Elks offense.
He's got to make a tackle down by the pylon.
Trey Ford, head buried in the tablet. Back on the ground. Nothing this time for Jamal Morrow, who had 5 carries for 36 yards prior to that one.
Yeah, I think it was Ely who got up the field and was in great position to cut that play off. That defensive line can reestablish the line of scrimmage. Your run game gets just broken down quickly.
Ely in the middle of that defense. Once again, Dolegala near side has a completion. Emilus escaping. Finally, the third Elks defender is able to take him down about a yard shy of a Saskatchewan first down.
Decision time for Craig Dickinson early in this game to see if he wants to go for it. Looks like he will send in his short yardage team. Antonio Pipkin comes in at quarterback here. Because of that second effort from Emilus, put the decision on the coach. They're going short yardage.
McLaurin and Lewis both had cracks at Emilus, but he managed to escape and put his team in this situation. 3rd and 1 on their own 44. Pipkin will step up right under center. That's Emilus. And now Pipkin trying to push ahead. Oh boy.
Wow, it's close.
This is going to be very close.
Depends on where that ref puts his foot down, because
where he's laying now, that's a first down, but
the initial push looked like he got it, and then he got pushed back by Purifoy and the rest of the group, and then kind of fell forward. So I think you're going to give it to him. New set.
Yeah, that initial push got him there. I think a lot of the rest of the pack was sort of brushed back. Pipkin was there. Job done. Riders starting offense back out here on the field. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Dolegala looking for Jones. Jones has it knocked away. Kai Gray there in coverage, plays it cleanly.
Oh, I tell you what, he played that. Tevin Jones plays this exactly the way he wants. He just didn't finish the catch because he slows down on the press coverage, gets outside leverage. The ball's dropped in there. It looked like it tipped off the helmet.
Yeah.
Of Kai Gray.
Gray, one of 3 rookies who have been starting all year in the secondary. They have moved Purifoy back in there now, so it's Darius Bratton and Kai Gray, the 2 rookies in the secondary tonight. 2nd and 10. Dolegala, far side of the field. Flag there as that ball is caught. Sidestepping on the far side is the rookie, Jarrett Stearns. There was a flag out in the flat.
Yeah, it was somewhere.
Legal contact on the receiver, Edmonton number 8. Since the grain is greater, the penalty is declined. It's first down for Saskatchewan.
Mark McLaurin, the guilty party.
Yeah, we'll show it to you, but they'll take the play instead because the gain was longer. 4 receivers to that side, and there he is right around the C. Legal contact on Schaefer Baker. That wasn't a whole lot of anything, really. Although you can't disrupt the receiver past 5 yards.
Now they'll hand it off. Brought up the near side. Heavy collision and eventually a late push at the end of the play. Schaefer Baker gets bumped. Is that McLaurin again?
I think it was.
Bad stretch here from Mark McLaurin.
Yeah, a little upset from one that was, I would say questionable, a little bit incidental contact, and you could make the argument on the last one that it was the receiver that ran into McLaurin, but that one he's well out of bounds and gives him a push in the back. And now out of bounds. Can you pull up from that and not do that?
Yep.
You can, and because he didn't, that's automatic.
Yeah, that one is a no-doubter. And now to the sidelines for McLaurin. 26 yards after the attack on the penalty. Morrow in trouble, and he'll be taken down for a loss on first down. Jake Serezna into the backfield.
Well, early in the first quarter, the first couple of drives, Jamal Morrow was seeing 10, 15-yard gains. And since then, the Elks in the second quarter have made the adjustments to get their D-line up the field a little bit faster. Get them up the field. If it is throw or play action, you can continue to the quarterback. If not, you're cutting off lanes for Morrow.
4-yard loss for Morrow on that carry. Now out to the right for his quarterback, Dolegala with time, far side. That is complete outside the 20. Purifoy there for the tackle immediately on Emilus, and that will bring up third down.
Well, the veteran plays this very well as Purifoy. Excuse me, that's not him. Purifoy is going to drop back into coverage here on the outside, make him throw it underneath. That was McLaurin. I've been tracking McLaurin for 3 plays now. He went on the blitz.
3rd and 5. Rother out. Hitting at 85.7% coming into the game. Has one already, and you can give him 2 as he strokes that one through, and the Riders go on top 13-7. Purifoy, 2.5 years a Rider, now with Edmonton. Pretty subdued Friday night crowd so far, Glenn. And we'll get a picture of the crowd late in the 4th if the Riders are leading by 6. Different story then. Midway through the second quarter, thank you very much for joining us for the second half of our Friday night football coverage. Here's Ford. Delayed draw. Brown bounces off a tackle. He's got a first down, and Kevin Brown right to midfield. That'll put him over 60 yards rushing here in the first quarter and a half.
Yeah, closing into a 1,000-yard season. Kevin Brown, 829, coming in and having a couple of big games since Trey Ford inserted into the lineup, and he really tests the edges of a defense and opened up run lanes in the middle for number 4, and he's taken full advantage of it.
Burst onto the scene midway through last season and has become a permanent fixture in this Edmonton offense. We've got a injured Rider on the field, and that is Miles Brown. Will step away from Mosaic.
Take a look at what happened to Miles Brown on this run play to Kevin Brown. There's Miles Brown there. He's working on David Foucault, the left guard, trying to get free there. He gets pulled down and kind of twisted awkwardly. You'll see it to the right of your screen here.
DeMarcus Christmas checks into the game in the middle of that defensive line. Brown again, short pickup this time, still pushing ahead, just shy of the 50. Might have got there, and boy.
What a big game last week against Calgary Stampeders. Career best for Kevin Brown. 15 carries, 143 yards, and a TD. Really becomes pick your poison when you have such a quick quarterback to the edges. But you have to call the right plays, too, to execute it properly and take advantage of it.
Last year, lots of buzz. He was averaging over 6 yards per carry. This year, he's actually worked himself back up. He's now at 5.9 yards per carry. Now he's going to flare out into the flat. Ford, right over the middle. Completion, and that'll be a first down. Manny Arsenault, 142 games in a row with a catch for number 84 in white.
Keeps the streak alive with a crossing route. And really becomes the hammer on the hit, too. That's Derek Moncrief, too, who he can bring it. 142 consecutive games with a catch. And I advise everyone to follow him on Twitter. Make your day more positive every single day.
Only one game in his entire career without a catch. Ford down the field, over the middle to his running back, Brown. No, broken up. Nice play defensively by Washington, I believe. Yes. How about Kevin Brown down the field? Comes up with a bit of a limp, and now he'll head off to the sideline.
Yeah, he's going to go out of the backfield like he's going to head to the flat and then go straight down the hash marks in the seam. He goes right past Larry Dean, and he's open in that hole for a second. But that's really all it was, a split second with Washington closing quickly. The timing just slightly off for Trey Ford. If he throws it a half second earlier, he hits Kevin Brown right when he clears past Larry Dean.
Brown chatting with staff on the Edmonton sideline. Washington, who was involved in that play as well, will head off the field for the Riders. Should be Shannon Brooks into the game. He is in there next to Trey Ford, rookie out of Minnesota. He's had some success already this season as well. Ford over the middle again, a completion again, as this time he finds Eugene Lewis for the first time today, and Edmonton picks up another first down.
You know, everyone that you listen to and talk to that have been talking about Trey Ford, they say if you want to try and contain him, beat him, you have to take away his ability to run and make him a passer. You have to make him throw from the pocket. Well, meanwhile, Trey Ford has completed 70% of his passes. So, you know, yeah, he's got work to do in that regard, but he can get it done from the pocket.
From the Rider 25, Ford to Kyron Moore. Moore takes it down inside the 15, and that should be another Edmonton first down. Third catch of the game for the former Rider.
Gets out in the flat here. A little momentum for the Edmonton Elks.
Inside the red zone this season, flipping along at 60%. They just don't get there very often. Ford on the run, spins away, tripped up and taken down by the veteran Micah Johnson.
Real well played from the Saskatchewan defense with Micah Johnson right here. Now he's in charge of Ford on the pitch. It's basically an option for Ford to run or to go to his tailback. Now they come outside, stop it here. Now Micah Johnson's responsibility is Ford. There's another man responsible for the tailback in Shannon Brooks out of the backfield. Well played.
Fifth sack of the season for Johnson. 2nd and 11 for Edmonton. From the Rider 15, Ford with time over the middle again. Kyron Moore again down to the 10, and that's where he will be stopped by the Riders.
There's no question that you take the points here and send out your field goal team if you're Chris Jones.
Cut this lead back to 3 with just over 3.5 remaining in the first half.
Big sack from Micah Johnson. Made what could be a convertible second down play more difficult.
Faithful, 85% on the year. This one just 16 yards inside the left hash. No problem. And we've got a entertaining 3-point game, which is really what we should expect from these two teams. Riders, Elks, always play tight ones. Looks like we got one of those shaping up here tonight.
We have big things planned for halftime. We're still sorting it out, but we're going to give a little love to the Riders. Definitely Trey Ford, Kevin Brown, and if you missed the first game of the doubleheader, my goodness, it was fantastic. Highlights coming up the half.
That was
Great night to start a week of Canadian Football League action. And the panel, so they're still working on some plans, but they got lots to talk about. Morrow. Boy, he had nowhere to go that time, did he? Jamin Pelly, the big man in the middle, gobbled him up immediately.
Yeah, adjustments made by the Edmonton defense, certainly on stopping the run. I mean, in the first quarter, it was Morrow off the right side, Morrow off the left side, didn't matter. And he was picking up good yardage on first down, and they've just shut that door in this second quarter.
Morrow stuck at 33 yards on 8 carries after, like Glenn mentioned, just a really nice start to this ball game. 2nd and 10, near side. That one dropped in there right at the 50. They'll say pass incomplete. Bain can't believe it. He was already up talking trash to Kai Gray.
Well, Craig Dickinson, if he wants to look at this, he was right at the first down marker, first of all, so we'll get a good look here at this angle. Boy, I thought he got his hands underneath it. Ruled incomplete, though, so you'd have to see enough evidence to overturn this if Craig Dickinson is going to challenge.
He has it in his hand, still considering it.
Trying to get as many looks as he can, and
nope, kept it in the hand. Taken at the 26 by Cobb, back out to the 40 with 2:19 remaining. AC Leonard, touchdown on the day. Well, it's well known that AC Leonard's having an excellent defensive season, 10 sacks on the year. He caught this pass from Cornelius earlier in the season against Hamilton, and then tonight he did this, a touchdown from Cornelius. Beautiful catch. For more on AC Leonard, let's send it down to Britt Dorr.
Yeah, and it's funny because I talked to Chris Jones about how dominant he was on defense, and he said we figured out a formula. Him on one side, Jake Serezna on the other, and it's been working for us. But Jones also said people forget how athletic AC Leonard is, and they also forget that he used to be a receiver in this league once upon a time. So, of course, they were reminding us of it again here tonight. I asked AC Leonard, what's the formula? He said, I study my opponent, I play fast, and I guess I'm just a dog out there. But I don't know, guys. Do you like it better on defense or offense?
Let him play both ways all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know about we're going to play him all the time on offense, but hey, maybe there'll be sort of a return of the tight end type of offensive formation, and here comes AC Leonard on short yard. He's on short yardage anyway, blocking.
Yeah.
So then they throw in the wrinkle of him going down the field making those big catches. Those were 2 good catches too, not routine catches by any stretch for even receivers, and he came down with them.
2nd and 2 for Cornelius, being thrown back into the ball game here. This time he'll try to push ahead. Needed the 2 yards. Actually did get a pretty good push with that 6'5" frame.
Well, and AC Leonard got a good push too. I mean, he's here's Cornelius getting the first, and then watch AC Leonard just take off here inside, and he gets tangled up with Jeremy Clark, and of course that's D lineman against DB.
Should be an advantage there, right?
Well, he's tracking down Matthew Betts over in BC. We'll see him tomorrow against Ottawa, but 2 sacks behind him in the sack race.
Fresh set of downs. Edmonton on their own 27, minute and 40 to work here in the half. Ford with time, thought about it. Now he tries to escape on the run, out to the right. Still going, and eventually tripped up and taken down at the 30. Boy, he tried to reload and look downfield again, didn't he?
Yeah, there's no one in the league. There's very few athletes can do this. I mean, watch how he reverses his field like cuts on a dime, gives you a little change, and then hesitates, beats another angle. This move right here is special. I mean, you just, to peel out of there, you see a lot of guys turn, but D linemen look like they're on, 3, 4 speeds behind him.
4 options out to the left for Ford this time. Goes to the right, deflected at the line of scrimmage, and falls incomplete. Blake Corte-Moore is there, a 3rd overall pick out of the University of British Columbia.
It's a big one, and it's controlled rush. Again, when Ford escapes, then basically they want to make sure that they cut down all the escape lanes. So fill them in, don't have to get pressure up the field too far, or else you open up lanes. Play at the line of scrimmage and then get your hands up. That's what Corte-Moore did.
Edmonton forced to kick it away, and does Mario have some magic in him here late in the half? Alford will watch this bounce. Slides up and grabs it. Wrapped up immediately at the 45. Still 57 seconds for Dolegala to work.
Oh, it's plenty of time for certainly field goal range. You know that Edmonton does not want to let a big play get in behind them.
Kate in the panel.
That's something that never happened to Davis Sanchez. Let anybody get in behind him with 57, not once.
Look it up, not once in his career.
With 57 seconds left in the half on a cool night.
Dolegala quickly far side, completion up to the 50, tackle made immediately by Darius Bratton. Emelis' 3rd catch of the game.
Well, if you're playing against Jake Dolegala, you have to cover the entire field. There are some quarterbacks where you can roll your coverage, and the wide side's a hard throw.
Another quick pass right to midfield. This time to Tevin Jones. That's Jones's 1st catch of the ball game. Leads the team with 724 yards on the season. Quiet so far.
So Marcus Lewis down here at the wide side of the field. He is, against some quarterbacks, he could play off and not worry too much about it. But with Dolegala, Dustin, he's got to stay true, because he can, with the flick of a wrist, get it right out there to that wide field. Different challenge than playing against Trey Ford, but interesting.
Riders have called a timeout. 3 quick completions from Dolegala. 1 to Emelis, 1 to Jones, and 1 to Bain. And the home side is in business here. 2nd and 4 in the Edmonton 48.
They're efficient. They could get the 1st down, take a shot to the end zone, possibly on a fade route, and then still be in position to kick a field goal.
Lothers long on the years, 54. Career deepest, 57. No wind at Mosaic tonight. A little breeze prior to the game. Things have calmed down here. 2nd and 4. Dolegala again. And that one almost picked off, was going to be short of Emelis. And Marcus Lewis managed to break it up.
Sometimes you just feel like you're in your zone when you're playing against a certain team. Marcus Lewis loves to play against the green and white. He's got one tonight. He had one earlier in the season in one of the other matchups against the Riders, and almost had a pick 6 there.
So the Riders will bring Lother out. And this will officially be a 56-yarder.
Timeout called by Edmonton.
C.J. Sims is back to return this kick if it misses. And he is back to the place it sort of happened for him.
That's the end zone.
Absolutely. That's what brought it back to my mind as well, with Sims giving up a single in a tie game. Edmonton felt like they had a great chance to win this football game, and he very casually didn't play this ball. That single that point ended up the final point. And, you know, he started out so strong in the return game, and I think that affected him mentally, that mistake.
Lothar from 56. It is up, and it is short. Taken by Sims, C.J. Sims, all the way back to the 20 before he is tripped up. That was a deep, deep shot from Lothar. 56 comes up just shy.
And well played by Sims. And, you know, and the reason we bring that up in the flashback is this is a great young athlete that'll learn from the mistake, and he's, you know, it's generally past him, but he comes out to this place where it happened, exercised the demons, made a great play right under the crossbar there, and got it out to save the single on the short field goal.
And they have stuck with him the entire time since that moment. Riders lead remains 3. 18 seconds remaining. And they'll hand it off to Shannon Brooks. Kevin Brown hasn't been back in the game since he left after that hit on the incomplete pass at the other end of the field. Kind of been keeping an eye on that, and it has been Shannon Brooks since then. Brown has 69 yards on just 6 carries in the half. See him standing in there behind Chris Jones. And that will do it for the opening half. Once again, the last 11 games between these two clubs have been decided in the final 3 minutes. You get the sense it's trending towards that again, don't you?
Yeah, and the last 3 by 1 point, 4 points, and 2 points. We just show you how one happened, and Bain got the Riders going with an early touchdown in the first quarter. After back-to-back interceptions, one by Edmonton, then one by Saskatchewan.
Mama, I love you. Stay tuned.
A little message to Mom.
Third touchdown of the season for Sean Bain. Fit in extremely well here after a couple of years in Calgary, waiting for opportunity. Kind of stuck behind Henry there, and he's found a new home here with the Riders, and right now he is with our Britt Dorn.
All right, Sean, it is a tight ball game, but also a very physical one. How does your team remain disciplined in the second half, not let the emotions get the best of you?
We just got to stick to the fundamentals. We know we're a better team. We just have to prove it. So just, you know, taking it play by play.
Well, your coach all week long preached about coming out fast. You guys did just that, including your touchdown in that first quarter. How good did it feel to get the back of the end zone after how last week went?
It's been a minute to get in there. So it felt really good just to put us ahead, and hopefully we can get a couple more before the game was over.
Well, good luck in the second half.
Thank you, baby.
To Kate in the panel.
I like it. Thrown off by that mysterious third question. Well done, Britt. Alongside David Sanchez, Jim Barker, Milt Stiegel, and the Riders. And after what happened last weekend, it's nice to go into the half with a victory, or with a lead. And I think overall for their defense right now, that has to be the story of the game so far, because we talk so much about Trey Ford and how dynamic he is, and he really is. But the first half, I mean, he's been held to 8 of 13 for just 84 yards and the 1 INT. Sask D's doing a really nice job.
Well, it's interesting to see what they're doing. The biggest play against them, we talked about big plays and how big plays could be a problem for the Riders. The biggest play they gave up was the run to Kevin Brown for 32 yards. Biggest run that Trey Ford has had, 16 yards. The longest pass that he's completed, 17 yards. So all those double moves, the things that, you know, before the game we talked about, Davis, with, you know, putting those DBs in position where Eugene Lewis, they got to cover him on double moves. They've done a good job of defense in that. And they're not over pursuing Trey. They're not trying to, you know, allowing him lanes to get in where he can do what he does well. So I think they've done a good job this first half.
Yeah, they've done a great job. It's, you know, there's still, the playoffs are still a ways away, right, for this Elks team. But if they were to get in the playoffs, I start to look at like how difficult they could be to handle, because what we're seeing from them. And for me, when you look at Trey and everything he does, and you're on defense playing against Trey Ford,
if you're a backer, you don't want to get too much depth to get underneath. You know, you're getting underneath the Dylan Mitchell, getting underneath the Geno Lewis. You're getting those drops for Kevin Brown. If you get too much depth and create too much space, you're seeing what Trey is doing. So you really have to hug up on Kevin. You have to hug up on Trey, and that's leaving these guys open. You see now Swerve, Kyron Moore, who's been kind of quiet at times. He's starting to get more involved in the offense. But the run after catch and the playmaking ability of these receivers that we love so much coming into the season, who have not lived up to expectations, what Trey and what Kevin Brown has done, that's really opening things up for those guys.
And you talk about Kevin Brown. Since Trey Ford was inserted into the lineup, he's been taking full advantage of it. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. Before Trey, it was like 47 yards. And he has 69 right now in the first half, but it doesn't look like he's coming back out. But even though he's not back out, they need to continue running the ball. They got Shannon Brooks. We heard some good things about him from G. Roy Simon. So they have to continue running the ball because that allows Trey to open up his game. If they think Trey can just drop back there and be there by himself and not have a running game, I don't know if that's going to happen. So it's a good marriage, the running game along with Trey Ford. They have to continue running, even if Kevin Brown is not in the second half.
Every single game between these two teams seems to come down to the final 3 minutes. I mean, the fact that it's just a three-point ball game, I don't think surprises any of this. By the way, speaking of close games, if you missed the first one, it was phenomenal. We have highlights and post-game reaction right after this. Well, it is only week 15 in the CFL, but the Toronto Argonauts are already East Division champions, and this is how it went down. A thrilling ending in Montreal this evening. Chad Kelly finds Devontae Coxey in the end zone. They had one called back before this, and then Boris Beatty from 38 yards out after Cody Fajardo threw an INT. He nails it. And then Montreal still with a chance. Cote from 45, but it's blocked. What a play by the Argonauts special teams. It was not their best game by any stretch of the imagination. It was not Chad Kelly's best game by any stretch of the imagination. He just completed 21 of 35 passes for 275. Did get that huge touchdown at the end, though, as we say. Good teams find ways to win, and the Argos on top of the East. The playoffs will go through them to get to the Grey Cup. Here is Kenzie Lalonde with Chad Kelly.
Well, Chad, where does this one rank for you for a fun finish in the CFL?
Yeah, this is great. It's right up there, obviously, with what game. I mean, the way we ended it right there, defense shut it out, gave us a chance at the end. That wasn't a penalty at the very end when we scored that touchdown either. And there was just fight and a lot of will. Offense, defense. Yeah, we stubbed our toe quite a bit. I missed some easy throws that I normally make, but I think everybody did a great job throughout the whole game, staying focused. And it's just about a will to win.
Well, that throw to Coxey, 39 yards, is that kind of the Chad Kelly effect?
Yeah, I saw the corner squatting a little bit. Field half was, kind of over there a little bit, but I felt comfortable with Brissett making a big boy play on that one. And then, we had a double move call for Coxey, and he executed it perfectly. They brought pressure from the boundary. I wasn't sure if I was going to work the hot or not. I gave it a chance, and Coxey ran under the ball. Great job by him.
Well, you guys have clinched first in the East. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds great. We got to keep getting better as we know, but good things are going to happen.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you. Go Argos.
Yes, we wait for that every single day. If Go Argos aren't on the playoff T-shirts for the Toronto Argonauts,
has to be.
MLSE is missing out on a branding opportunity there. You know what? For the Argonauts, though, this is something we have said about this team. And if their defense isn't playing great, their offense steps up. Their offense isn't playing great, it's their special teams. It's like all three phases of this team just pick each other up. And to find a way to win in this game just kind of summarizes this team.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I learned from that. That
whole
game.
Play.
It's the play description from Chad there. But no, just this team, because I find it hard to figure them out sometimes. Today, I felt we all agree they didn't play well. It wasn't their best game. But at the end, was it just prevent defense that turned it on for Chad, or was it something else that clicked for Chad at the end?
Well, what struck me about that game was they did everything they could to give it away.
Yeah.
And yet they really earned the win. They came back and they really earned the win at the end. The defense getting the big interception, the block field goal, the two touchdown
huge
passes from Chad
that Coxie,
that Chad Kelly threw after having as bad as he's played all year for 3.5 quarters.
This was maybe the most impressive win. I mean, last week they crushed them. There was never a game. But this week, they had to overcome some adversity. They came out in that third quarter, and they played bad. They allowed Montreal to take the momentum, but they got in that fourth quarter, and they said, okay, we got to turn it up. We know how to turn on the switch. We just didn't keep it on. So, impressive win. Ryan Dinwiddie had some gutsy calls. So, Toronto Argonauts are the Eastern Conference champions for 2023.
With 6 games to play.
Which is wild. It's going to be interesting to see what they do down the stretch, though, in terms of these players. But needless to say, these 2 games have been so entertaining today. We have high expectations for our doubleheader on Saturday. First up, it is the Hall of Fame game between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You can see the pregame beginning at 3:30 Eastern. Of course, some special guests stopping by the panel. And then to wrap it all up, it is the Ottawa Red Blacks traveling to BC to take on the Lions. You can see that one, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. But of course, we have to wrap up this one first. The Saskatchewan Roughriders currently with a 3-point lead. We got stats on deck. It's coming up next. All right, we've got ourselves a 13-10 football game. What stands out, Milt Stiegel?
Well, it's been a solid first half. Edmonton's really been able to run the ball. Big reason why the Rough Riders are up. Disciplined play, no penalties in the first half. And what about A.C. Leonard scoring a touchdown? The one player I want to see go off that we haven't seen yet, Keon Schaefer-Baker. Will he finally really get involved in the game, Kate?
The last 11 meetings between these 2 teams have come down to the final 3 minutes, including their 2 meetings already this season. Will it happen again? A close one so far. We'll get you back to Mosaic right after this.
Welcome back to Regina, where we've got a good one to wrap up Friday Night Football. Riders leading the Elks 13-10. Britt Dort is with Luchez Purifoy.
How do you contain the Riders in the second half here?
We got to make tackles. We got to finish. We got to make tackles and do our job. Everything else will fall into place.
Well, we know the first 2 matchups against this team came down to the wire. You guys, had the losses in both those. So how do you rewrite the narrative knowing that this could be another tight matchup toward the end?
Every game for us is a playoff game right now. Put your head down and go to work.
All right, well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
So far this season, 2 tight ones. Their last 3 meetings were decided by 1 point, 4 point, and 2 points. And their last 11 have all come down to the final 3 minutes. Kevin Brown, for you Elks fans watching, is out. He will not return to this game. Anthony Lanier is out on the other side. 2 big pieces in this football game, Suits.
What Luchez Purifoy was talking about was if they lose this game, the Elks, they're out of the race in the West for the playoffs.
On the return, it was a little bit of a shorter kick staying away from Mario Alford, and Awachi is able to corral it cleanly.
Jake Dolegala in the first half, pretty efficient. Did have the interception, but again, this is the ones that you wonder why this is given to the quarterback. Yeah, when he throws it exactly where it's supposed to go, bounces off the receiver's hands, and is an interception. So his first in a while, but as the Riders out in front by 3.
He'll be throwing here, short completion to Sean Bain, and actually goes for a loss, and that'll bring up 2nd and 11.
Bain with a touchdown in the first half, and Jamal Morrow had a good start to the game the first couple of series, and then a couple of adjustments stopped that momentum in the second quarter.
Actually was -2 on the ground in the second quarter. Dolagala down the field, another deep shot, incomplete, well over the head of the intended target of Kean Schaefer-Baker.
Yeah, as a receiver with this type of arm, you can just keep running all the time. No need to look. Go full speed down the field because he can get it to you. You know, there's a certain point where some receivers, when you're running with other quarterbacks, you'll get to 60 yards and go, well, there's no way.
That ball's gone.
There's no way he can get it to me here. And they start to gear down, but he can get it out there.
Purifoy and C.J. Sims back to return this Corsac punt from his own 20. And Purifoy will take it up the far sideline, brings it back to the 45-yard line after a 47-yard kick. Here's a look at Trey Ford in the first half of the game.
Yeah, got down 10-0 in this game and then put together a real nice drive that ended up in a short yardage sort of trick play to E.C. Leonard, but some good runs again. We're charting. The old DB in me has decided to chart when Trey Ford escapes and where he escapes to. Got some running yards in that first half, and when he has escaped, it's always been to his right, even when at one point he went left and then reversed his field.
And look who this is. We were told that Brown was out of the game, and now he's back in, picks up a first down, multiple flags, I think, for a horse collar.
Yeah, it would be horse collar at the end of that. It'll be tack on another 15.
Well, this is a nice turn of events for Edmonton. We were told at halftime that Brown would not be back in this football game.
Collar tackle, Saskatchewan number 11. We'll go up 15 yards from the other run.
I guess
it's going to be first down for Edmonton.
I guess we thought that, you know, the information that we got it from when they told us that there was something in the person's eye because they were winking. Kevin Brown won't be in, and we thought there was something in his eye. It must be.
Well, he's now at 82 yards on 7 carries in this football game, coming off that 140 plus against Calgary. Back to Brown again. Spinning ahead, takes it down inside the 35. Really wasn't much room there and still managed to pick up 4 yards on that play.
Well, there's something in the timing of the handoff that just didn't look right. Trey Ford either turned the wrong way or Brown started the wrong way. It just took a little long to develop, allowed the Rider defense to rally to it.
Has been clarified. It's actually Miles Brown, we're now told, that will not return in this football game. So Miles Brown on the other side of the ball, and the defensive interior, will not be back. Empty backfield for Ford here. With time, tight window, almost intercepted, falls incomplete. That was in behind Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a mistake in the routes there for this. You got 3 receivers to the wide, well, actually 4 receivers to the wide side of the field out here. And when you have that, you want to, it's actually spread them out. Stop it here. Now you've got 2 Elk receivers that close together. That's a mistake by one of them, or both, because you want to spread the field. You see how many defenders are drawn to that area with 2 receivers that close. Lucky they didn't get that intercepted.
Faithful, 1 for 1 tonight. This one from 40 yards out, just inside the left hash, to tie this game at 13. And that is what he does. Jamal Morrow, good first quarter, quiet second quarter. I'm sure they will try to get him going when we return to a game that's deadlocked at 13. Dolagala, 9 of 15 for 68 yards, touchdown, and that deep interception that in and out of the hands of Emelis. Riders led this game 10-0. Finds Emelis Emilus on the near sideline, over midfield. And the fourth catch of the ball game for Emilus is his longest thus far.
Excellent call and different sort of look for Kelly Jeffrey, the offensive coordinator for Saskatchewan, to get Dolegala on this rollout and get all his receivers and his running back going the same direction. Slide protection up front, meaning all the old linemen slide in one direction. That was to his right, and nice completion to get this drive started.
Up to the Edmonton 52. Dolegala quickly gets it away again. Great timing. And he drops it inside the 50 to Jarrett Stearns.
Kelly Jeffrey, Dustin's done a great job of just kind of tweaking the offense as the quarterbacks have changed. You know, he started out Trevor Harris and had to go to Mason Fine, and you know, it's not too drastic. It's not like you're throwing the entire playbook out and starting fresh, but go to the strengths of the quarterback that's in there.
Once again, wasting no time, Dolegala has a first down for the Riders, gets it to Bain. Boy, he's spreading that ball around very nicely tonight between Emilus and Bain and Jones.
First start against the Edmonton Elks in Dolegala's career, and as I mentioned off the top, he's 2-1 this year, 2-2 in his career, but I just am amazed by his calm, cool, collected composure.
This time they'll hand it off. Morrill up to the Edmonton 35, and a nice drive being put together here by Dolegala and his Riders offense.
Really is. He just hasn't been phased. He had the big win in the Labor Day weekend against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and also a start against the BC Lions, two top teams in the division.
Huge wins with the way that the season had kind of been going along for Saskatchewan so far. Dolegala this time dumps it off to his running back for another Riders first down.
There's a good example of his composure. The pocket collapsed on him that time, and Dolegala just climbed up into it, just kept moving forward, and he felt that pressure off the edge, got a little bit of a bump on the head and the back of the head, and then kept moving forward, then kept his eyes up, found his tailback, and picked up the first.
Riders quarterback 4 for 4 on this drive, which is now down to the Edmonton 26. Nice window, finds a man, touchdown Riders! Tevin Jones! And Dolegala finishes off an excellent drive. Saskatchewan goes back on top.
Really was an impressive drive by Jake Dolegala. I mean, in his start against the Lions, he had 3 touchdown throws, and in the last 2 games did not throw a touchdown pass in either. He's got 2 tonight, and this one is just tremendous timing. And bang on, Dustin, right in the window between 2 defenders. Tevin Jones comes back to the ball, gets the angle, and gets to dance.
Dolegala just seems like he's in his own little world when he's in the pocket there.
Exactly.
He doesn't seem to be flustered by anything going on around him. Very impressive to watch when he's operating like he just did on this drive. Rother for one more, and the Rider lead is back to 7. 6 plays extremely efficiently, 70 yards, 2 minutes and 43 seconds into the hands of Tevin Jones for his 3rd touchdown of the year.
It's an example of a straight cover 3 for the Edmonton Elks. There's your 3 deep defenders, and Ed Gainey, number 3, is the one you got to watch because he drops back. He's got the outside third of the field. Bain runs it out, so he's not a threat. The only threat is Tevin Jones, and a poor angle from the veteran. With Jones coming back to the football, that combination turns into 6.
Now we've got to win. You heard him say there, now they just got to win. Second passing touchdown of the day for Dolegala. Give him now 6 on the year. And the Riders back on top. Sims takes it on his own 11. all the way back out to the 35 before he is wrapped up. Golagala, no mistakes on this drive that ends up in the Elks end zone. Rolling along here at Mosaic. Interesting look indeed. That was a wig, right? I think. I don't know. Edmonton down by 7 again. Ford escapes on the run to his right. Will take off this time. Still going. And he's got a little bit of space for a first down. Trey Ford, a little bit of extra burst along the far sideline.
Riders go with a safety blitz from Jackson Ford, who's going to join the rush here. And as soon as Trey Ford sees that, he escapes once again to his right side. He escaped 6 times in the first half. All 3 went to his right. Now that makes sense when you're a right-handed quarterback. But I don't think he had any thought to throw the football once he got outside of that blitz pressure.
41 rushing yards for Ford so far, 85 for his running back. That's where they go this time. Brown turns it back up the field and gets about half of what they need on first down.
One of the reasons that they have are 3 and 2. Trey Ford's 3 and 2 is the big plays down the field. You know, whether it be Geno Lewis in the last couple of games, teams start to get closer to the line of scrimmage to contain him, stop the run of Kevin Brown in the last 3-4 weeks, and then they give up a big one behind them in the secondary. Haven't seen that yet tonight from the Elks.
34 big plays on the year for this Edmonton offense. Only Winnipeg has more. 2nd and 5 here, 3-man rush. Ford near side. Kyron Moore has it for a first down, wrapped up and taken down by C.J. Rivas, but not before he gets about 7.
Kyron Moore enjoyed that in front of the Rider bench. It was a good look at Trey Ford on a timing throw to the out to Kyron Moore.
Kyron Moore, team best 5 catches in this ballgame.
Play calling for Jarius Jackson completely changes with an athlete like Trey Ford at quarterback.
Certainly opens things up a bit. Riders show some pressure. They'll hand it off to Brown. And once again, pretty decent pickup. It's 3 or 4 yards consistently on first down when the ball is in the hands of Kevin Brown.
So Miles Brown is out, as you mentioned. Anthony Lanier also out of the lineup, and no surprise that Jarius Jackson goes to this run. They get Trey Ford on the edge with that blitz, and he gets outside of it, and then they go back-to-back Kevin Brown, testing the replacements up front. Corte Moore, one of them.
94 yards now on the night for Brown. 2nd and 6 from the Rider 44. Ford in trouble, escapes, and he takes off. First down for Ford. Pocket collapsed on him, but he got out of there.
And knew exactly where the first down marker was, because he's just going to lower his shoulder and get it and not hook slide just short of it. But this is the first time I think Trey Ford escapes to the left, and he escapes up in between the tackle and guard, and that's where he knew where the marker was and then just dove to the line. How quick is he when a D lineman is engaged, tries to get off his block, and by then he's gone.
Moncrief was there to shut him down. Kyron Moore trying to stretch something out over there. He has 5 catches. Nobody else on the Elks has more than 1 tonight. Lewis has 1. Brown has 1. Leonard has 1 that went for a touchdown if you're just joining us. Manny Arsenault with a catch in his 142nd consecutive game, and then Dylan Mitchell with a catch as well. So Moore has been heavily the focus of this offense thus far.
Well, I don't think we're done talking about Geno Lewis before this one's over.
Pop his head up here somewhere?
I think he may show up pretty soon.
He'll head up to the top of your screen. 1st and 10. Ford gets it away just in time. Brown again trying to kick it to the outside. Can he find some space on the far side of the field? Yes! Down to the 20, to the 10. Kevin Brown is gone! Touchdown, Edmonton! Another big one from Brown! And the Elks are back within one.
Outstanding speed for Kevin Moore, and the Riders just lost their angles. Amari Henderson comes up from the secondary to try and help there, but he comes way inside, and now Brown has the edge. Geno Lewis with a big block down the field. Knew we'd be talking about him in one way or another before this one was over. 87 got the assist on that run from Kevin Brown.
129 yards in this game for Brown. His second 100-yard game of the season, and he's done it in back-to-back outings. Faithful to lock it at 20, and he knocks it through. Looks like he's okay. Brown, 6 plays, 75 yards on this drive for Edmonton, and they've tied it. Kevin Brown having himself another excellent evening. And look at this. You get Ford in a quarterback, you start new offensive coordinator, and they just unleash this guy.
11 carries, 129. He's closing in on that 1,000-yard mark. Had 829 coming into this game. Kevin Brown at 129 is pushing that career best, which he got last week at 143.
He is 42 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. That could happen tonight. It's 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And on my O-line.
But considering the start that they had, his season has kind of quietly flown under the radar here as he closes in on 1,000 yards already. This one will avoid Alford, taken just inside the 30 by Hickson. Hickson now on the far side, middle of the field, and wrapped up around the 35. Touchdowns already in this game for Sean Bain, his third of the season, and also the third of the year for Tevin Jones. For more on this dynamic duo, let's send it down to Brickdorf.
Yeah, dynamic duo that Craig Dickinson immediately looked at in training camp and said these guys are going to be competing for starter spots. He just knew it, and boy, have they ever proved it. I asked Tevin Jones about their relationship, and he said, well, we actually roomed together in training camp. That's when I got to know him, and I immediately realized, hey, he's kind of funny like me. And he said from there, we just basically gelled because we lined up on the same side of the field together. Guys.
Well, it works out, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Britt was saying with that interview as well before the game, we were chatting about that and saying that Bain really wanted 14. They both actually wore 14.
Holding, Saskatchewan 81. The penalty occurred before yards were gained. We're going to repeat first down, 10-yard penalty.
Tevin Jones already had it. So 14 and 15. Like I said, I think Batman and Robin almost works out there. Tevin Jones at 6'2", 225, and Sean Bain at 5'9", 178.
Well, and then you mix in Emelis, who actually leads the team in touchdowns.
Some Superman-like catches.
And he's done some Superman-like catches, yes. Got the
Justice League?
The Justice League of receivers here for Dolegala. He connects well with them. Not this time, though. Bain kind of got stuck where he was, and that ball drops incomplete. And it'll bring up 2nd and 20 after that penalty on Picton on first down.
Yeah, that was a holding call right at the point of attack that takes us that first down, little throw and catch off the board. And now this is 2nd and a bunch.
Jones and Bain out to the left side for Dolegala. Looks over the middle, throws over the middle, and that one to Picton. There's a flag back by the quarterback. And now Godber and Curtis are getting into it, and more flags fly. I think they would have been about a yard short on the completion to Picton, who gets a bit of redemption for his penalty.
Well, we got to sort out the flags because there's two back there, and one I believe looked like it was holding, but then it turned into an after the play foul. So if it's a offsetting type penalty, it would be down over.
Well, looks like it'll be a hold on Evan Johnson. And then Curtis, you see he's still fired up. That's Shannon Brooks, who's trying to calm down Curtis, the rookie at Kaiser University, 28th overall pick in the 2023 draft, and he's really come along quickly for this Chris Jones defense, heavily involved now as opposed to earlier in the season. Ben Major trying to get this sorted out.
There's two penalties on the play. Holding, Saskatchewan 61. Then after the play, 15-yard misconduct, Edmonton 92. We'll go up 5 yards. It's going to be automatic first down for Saskatchewan.
So they'll move it up 5 and mark it a first down.
Because that was a catch from Picton. So Picton bounces back after the penalty. It's actually Evan Johnson, 64, that looked like he got the hold. And the pushing and shoving after.
First and 10 for the Riders from their own 31. Emelis waits for it, hauls it in, and is held on to at the 40. Tried to lunge ahead looking for that first down, and he'll be just shy.
Yeah, when you take a look at that, turn of events, that's Curtis trying to calm down over there on the bench because Saskatchewan offense was essentially off the field, or they would have been second and 30 with another holding
with
call
the
on
hold,
Evan,
right? Yeah,
on Evan Johnson.
So that's a big one. If this drive ends up in points the other way, that's one that the rookie would certainly want back. Second and inches. Pipkin into the game. And they'll try to stretch him out. Now he's going to throw. He's got a man wide open. Are you kidding me? Drops it in there at the 45. Down to the 40. Still going. Jamal Morrow stays on his feet. Hauled down just shy of the 10. Oh boy, an all-timer there into the hands of Jamal Morrow.
Well, now we've seen both teams with some fun on short yardage.
Right back at you.
Antonio Pipkin gets in there, and it's not a defensive end that he throws to. It's a guy who's used to catching the football, and Jamal Morrow used to handling it. And hey, if this is out in front of him a little bit more, now in fairness to Pipkin, he had to fade away and almost was falling backwards when he threw it, but Morrow probably scores. They do get in plus territory.
Down to the Edmonton 12. Riders in business, looking to take back the lead. Elks bring the heat. Dolagala hit. Ball is loose. They're going to blow it down. They're saying it was incomplete. He was hammered in the pocket there. Gainey trying to make an argument with Purifoy, who was all over Dolagala.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a full blitz. You're going to see that's Purifoy, the first arrow. The second is going to be Konar, who's just out of your screen right now, but he'd join in, and they're added 2 to the blitz, and it's Purifoy that gets there from behind Dolagala. Didn't see it coming.
Good work by Dolagala to get that ball away, almost like an underhand sort of pass as he was being taken down. Second and 10. Edmonton, will they bring pressure again? They do. Dolagala gets it away quickly. Has a completion and a touchdown all the way to the end zone. Second of the game for Sean Bain, and the Riders go back on top.
That's exactly what happened. Chris Jones dials up a next second in a row full blitz on Dolagala, but this time said, fool me once. but not a second time in a row. Again, Purifoy up there, Konar up there. They're sending the pressure, and Dolegala reads it, throws the hot route to Bain. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
6 plays, 74 yards, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Some short yardage trickery along the way. And after a penalty after the play from Noah Curtis, the Riders make Edmonton pay. Would have been a long, long stretch for the Riders. Wilder Curtis not taking that penalty.
This play was the one that set it up. It's short yardage. Antonio Pipkin out there to Morrow. A lot of heavy lifting after the catch. They have a little bit of fun after that one. And then Jake Dolegala, recognizing blitz after getting smacked in the back on the previous play from Luchez Purifoy, stands in there tall, sees the blitz, reads it, hits the hot route to Bain, and the Riders have a 7-point lead.
3 passing touchdowns for Dolegala. He's 16 of 24 for 155 and the 3 touchdowns. And an interception to Emilus that if Emilus actually hangs on to that, that might have been another touchdown, really. As he had a step on Lewis when he bobbled the ball. So a nice evening for Dolegala, and now his team will kick it away one more time. 7-point cushion for the home side. Sims trying to kick it to the outside, and look at this, CJ Sims has to beat the kicker, cuts it back inside and stumbles. The curse continues for the Edmonton return game. Almost a decade without a return touchdown, and CJ Sims, rattled by Lothar, tripped and fell after 39 yards.
Oh, he had a chance. He had a chance. But either way, CJ Sims has just exercised the demons of the last time that he was here at Mosaic Stadium. Crucial judgment error on a kick that he let go into the end zone. And that field position for Trey Ford's going to exercise that. It's gone now. But he almost was gone.
Ford, a fake, a flag, and now he's on the run. Ford near side, thought about throwing it. Now he's going to take it to midfield and step out of bounds. But there is a flag in the area of holding. We'll see if that ends up being the call. I think Sims could have got to the outside on Lothar there.
Just a little stumble, but
the kicker was going pretty good.
Oh, are you asking me if my guess is whether he could beat the kicker?
Well, on the outside here, like I know.
I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Sims.
If he stays to the outside right there,
just keep going.
He gets around him, that might be it.
Saskatchewan number 43. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for Edmonton.
Wow, Micah Teitz, illegal contact.
You see Chris Jones gets right over there to talk to him again, but I knew he bounced back in his.
You have to go back to 2015, the last time an Edmonton kick returner took one home.
That's your illegal contact. Kyron Moore trying to escape.
First and 10 from the 47. Back to Brown. Brown sidestepping a couple of tacklers and gets a really nice chunk on first down. That'll go for 6 to end the third quarter. Do not go to sleep. We've got an excellent fourth quarter on the way as these two rivals go back and forth. Heavy blow for heavy blow. 15 to go, maybe more at Mosaic. Welcome back to Mosaic as we get set for the fourth quarter on a beautiful night. Time now for your Coors Light moment of chill, and it is lights out night here at Mosaic. Every commercial break, they're going dark. They provided glasses for everybody in attendance. Thousands and thousands of people getting these glasses, and that's a nice shot right through the glasses. It's kind of a neat shot. There's a good look at Jamal Morrow with the GoPro heading out of the tunnel. Overall, a pretty cool evening here at Mosaic Stadium, and I have to say, these glasses do make you look pretty darn cool, don't they, Suits?
I don't know if cool's the word, but okay.
You guys look cooler than I do.
We're in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You guys look better, though.
Yeah.
Well, at least we can see you. So that's a positive.
Hey, Britt, there's no shot we look better.
Hey, a cool initiative here at the stadium tonight. Fans are loving it. Here's Brown. Kevin Brown, what a night he's having. Takes it inside the 30, down to the 25. Little spin move at the end of the play. And that will push him well above 140. That, in fact, will be a new career high, following up on the career high he set last week.
Well, he's going to have back-to-back games here with 300 yards rushing. Single-handedly. 1,000-yard season, and we've got, what, 6 games to go. That'll be 5. It'll actually be 5 for Edmonton, but that 1,000-yard mark.
Edmonton looking to answer back from the Saskatchewan 23. Ford looking for some blocking. Has nowhere to go, and a flag right at the very end of this play. Right when the tackle was made, a flag came out. And it will
holding, Edmonton 62. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
Martez Ivy called on the hold.
Interesting here heading into the fourth. The Riders are 5-0 this year when they have the lead going in to the fourth quarter. But the Elks are coming off a game where they scored 18 fourth quarter points against Calgary to beat them and held Calgary to a big fat goose egg in the fourth.
The Riders have also been outscored in 7 consecutive fourth quarters. So lots here to still be decided. 1st and 20. They'll give it to Brooks. And Brooks about 3 yards on that draw. And the Riders not surprised at all, read it well and wrapped them up.
Lake Corte Moore has made a couple plays tonight. UBC grad, and he read that. That's football IQ. You hear that said quite often, to understand the development of a play like a draw that is designed to sort of fool the defensive line, make him look like it's pass. And Corte Moore to the right of your screen, he reads it, football IQ, cuts underneath and makes a tackle.
More opportunity tonight with Anthony Lanier out of the game and not returning due to injury. 2nd and 17. Ford in trouble, spins to his left, stays on his feet. Now Ford with time, looking down the field, throwing to the end zone, touchdown! Gino Lewis, some magic from the fabulous Ford, and he drops it into Lewis, and the Elks answer back.
Corte Moore has him wrapped up, but we've said that about Trey Ford a bunch in his short starting career this year. I mean, the guy is, now you see him, now you don't. I mean, you got him in the backfield a couple of times. I thought Corte Moore might get a second shot, but Trey Ford, he finds Gino Lewis. Touchdown. It wouldn't be long. We talk about 87.
Had to pop up at some point, and there he is, his 3rd touchdown of the year. And we are tied at 27. A 6-play, 57-yard drive that took under 3 minutes. And Edmonton on the road, not going anywhere.
Boy, if you're a receiver playing with Trey Ford, you have to know the scramble rules. That's the initial play, an out from the slot, and Gino Lewis at the wideout receiver running a go route. That's the initial play. Now Trey Ford's starting to scramble, so the shallow guy goes deep, and the deep guy comes and tries to find the hole because Gino Lewis is running a deep route. Now with the scramble rules, he's got to find a hole, so he slides into this area here, whereas the short route goes deep and tries to get in behind coverage. You better know your scramble rules if you're playing with number 2.
Well, I think a veteran like Lewis certainly has a good read on those. Played some quarterback on his way up as well. Nice return shaping up here. And that is Hickson that takes it all the way outside the 35. Let's take another look at Eugene Lewis's third major of the season.
This is just magic, though. I mean, Houdini. Now you see him, now you don't. He escapes, twists and turns, quickness to outrun angles, eyes up the field all the time. Gino made a big play last week against Calgary in the fourth quarter as well.
Well, with the way this one's going, you almost expect Dolegala to answer back. We'll start it with Jamal Morrill trying to stretch it out on the far side of the field, turns it back up, and we'll end up picking up about 7 on that carry.
A little wobbly getting up there. I think he's looking to get a bit of a breather.
Kind of got him going again a little bit. Very impactful early in the game. End up giving him 8, 2nd and 2. Quick release in behind the intended target, which was Bain. He looked directly back to his quarterback right away.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where Dolegala had to put it because of the positioning of the DB or linebacker who was in coverage. He had to. Yeah, it was Konar that was breaking inside out. So he, that's Bain saying, yeah, I know you had to throw it there. I have to sit down.
I see what you were doing there,
yeah,
and I should have
exactly
stayed right there. So 3rd and 2. Korsak lets her fly. Sims at the 16. Back out to the 30. And that is where he has stopped. 14-yard return for C.J. Sims. We are tied at 27 at Mosaic. CFL and TSN continues tomorrow with doubleheader action. The Bombers take on the Ticats at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, followed by the Red Blacks and Lions at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on TSN. If you love doubleheaders, this is the weekend for you. We're wrapping one up here tonight. Another one coming your way tomorrow. This is a good one, isn't it? We had a great game earlier. Came right down to the wire. Final play of the game. And we've got a good one shaping up here. Just over 11 to play. Tied at 27. Back to Brown. This time contained. Big weekend, Glenn.
Yeah, congratulations to the class of 2023 and going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Josh Burt, John Bowman, Larry Crawford, Solomon Elamimium, and our former colleague Schultze going in, and John Hines in the media wing, Vicky Hall as well. John Hines has probably done 800 games, multiple championships.
And he remembers every single one of them.
Absolutely, and really, really happy for him. Well deserved.
Ford looking for a big shot down the field to Lewis. Goes up and gets it. Brilliant stuff by Gino Lewis. Never in doubt, was it?
Well, it's in double coverage, and yeah, you can almost say that with this receiver. I mean, he makes this time after time. Clark trying to get some help from Amari Henderson coming across from the high coverage, and Gino Lewis rips it down.
"38 yards to Lewis. Fourth quarter fireworks again from Ford and Gino. 1st and 10 from the Rider 40. Saskatchewan's going to bring some heat. They give it to Brown right up the middle. And Brown takes it out down to the Rider 35. That'll put him just over 160 yards on the ground in this game.
You know, the running of Trey Ford is one thing. We talked about the challenges it gives to the defensive line. And, you know, we've seen some substitutions in the Saskatchewan D-line as well. But what it does to the defensive backfield is different. It gets in your head. And you start to look and leave your receiver and start to spy where the quarterback may be to see if you can help make a tackle. And the moment you do that, you lose your receiver.
Ford thought about it. Now on the run out to his left, will throw, and that's a first down. Wow. Nice cross-body throw to Kyron Moore to move the chains.
Unbelievable. again, athletically, just calmly going to his left that hard and all arm, throwing it against the flow here. Oh, get a football, Dustin, and go out in your backyard and try to do this 10 times. And you tell me how that works out for you.
I don't need to try it because I know I can't do it, and I'd probably hurt myself.
Because honestly, it feels like your arm's being dislocated. He made it look like it was matter of fact. No problem.
Down to the Rider 26. Ford, the keeper again, down to the 20, wrapped down from behind and taken down. Just shy of a first down, but Ford being activated here in the fourth.
Yeah, he saw Micah Teitz pinch, and he saw Corte Moore pinch down to Kevin Brown. Now Kevin Brown's success opens up the edge.
Over 210 yards rushing in this game for Edmonton. Riders, on average, give up about 109 per game. Cornelius back in, 2nd and 2. He's got a touchdown pass to that man. A.C. Leonard popped into your screen. This time they'll just push ahead. And that should be enough. Depend on the spot. Be close. And it will be a first down.
Yeah, they get a new set. Trying to watch across the field to see Trey Ford. After that last run, he looked like he kind of went quickly to the bench.
And Cornelius remains in. Interesting development.
He looks like he's okay physically. He just, that's his O-line. Some of the O-linemen, 6 and 7, are going up there saying, hey, are you good? Because
you want us to carry you back out there?
Get back out there.
Cornelius in. Tie game at 27. He'll give it to Brown. Brown to the 15. Spins down to about the 11 before he is stopped. And Trey Ford will trot back out onto the field. 5-yard pickup for Brown. And that is Robertson, who is down on the field in pain.
They've lost Lanier, lost Miles Brown tonight. And now Pete Robertson slow to get up. He'll have to go out for at least 3 plays. Even if he can shake this off. You see what happened to him. Man, there's a lot of times it's friendly fire, isn't it? The pursuit after the ball carrier collides with the guy at the point of attack.
Robertson is up. Sit for 3 and likely be back in. Looked like he wanted to stay in. Home obviously has got to come out for the 3 plays.
Yep.
3 big plays here, though, considering where this ball is at on the field. Hosea Crowd will try to get behind this defense. 2nd and 4. Edmonton has not led in this ball game. Ford in trouble on the run, right up the middle. Touchdown! Trey Ford takes it home for Edmonton, and they go on top. There is a flag on the near side.
Illegal contact on the receiver, Saskatchewan number 28. That penalty is declined. It's a touchdown.
Touchdown stands. Trey Ford on the ground, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, and Edmonton climbs on top 33-27.
This is an automatic when you're down in this area. Oftentimes, even with quarterbacks who can't run as well as Trey Ford can, you will run quarterback draw down there because everybody vacates in man-to-man coverage. You get down in the red zone, you're often playing man-to-man coverage defensively, and if those receivers run off the DBs and linebackers, those lanes are open.
8-play, 79-yard drive, just over 5 minutes off the clock.
Hey, big shout out to the Plummetons. Yeah!
Have yourself a day, Trey Ford. 70 yards on the ground, including that scamper that puts Edmonton in the lead.
Man-to-man defense in the red zone. Larry Dean, he's got a man. He's the middle linebacker. Go ahead and run, and I'll show you exactly what happens when Kevin Brown releases out of the backfield. Stop it there. There goes Kevin Brown. That means that he is covered by the middle linebacker in Larry Dean. As soon as he leaves the middle, now it's just Trey Ford trying to find an open lane. Everybody else is chasing receivers down, and he's untouched to the end zone.
Just how they drew it up. 3-2 since Ford took over. Trying to keep slim playoff hopes alive.
And played well enough in the others to win.
Short kick. Alford takes it just inside the 30. Back out to the 37, and a flag right at the end of it. A late hit, and this will put the Riders in a pretty good spot.
Be another 15. Let's take a look at that touchdown
Major
drive
foul.
by Trey Ford.
Edmonton, number 27, at the end of the play. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Got their big guns going.
First down for Saskatchewan.
Like Chad Kelly said in the first game, making big boy plays down the field. Trey Ford rolling to his left, throwing back over the middle. Kevin Brown on a little fake, and Ford to the outside. And then man-to-man, Larry Dean vacates the middle, and away goes the quarterback.
79 yards, 8 plays. And now after that penalty, the Riders will start on their own 52. Very nice field position. What's Dolagala got up his sleeve for us here on a Friday night? Quick completion, far side. Tripped up and taken down by Lewis. Back to Schaefer Baker for his first official catch of the ball game.
Yeah, you know, I thought starting this game that Schaefer Baker may have this breakout moment of this season, but still working away at it.
2nd and 7, right at midfield. That one missing. Emelis looked like he was cutting across, and then when that ball came zipping in there, he got a hand on it, but that was it.
Well, just a little bit off on the route running here, I think. Schaefer Baker, first of all, caught a 7-yard pass and came back to try and make a move and lost 3. And then Emelis was just about a half a yard off his route, and that one goes incomplete. The Riders have no choice but to kick it here. I mean, lots of time left.
Still lots of time, yeah. Korsak will be kicking just inside his own 45, a chance to maybe pin Edmonton deep and get this ball back. Taken just inside the 15 by Sims. Spins it back up the far side to about the 30, and then he's hammered down out of bounds, and more flags. Another flag right in the middle of the field as well.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan, number 30. We're going to go up 30 yards from the end of the play. It's going to be first down for Edmonton.
It's the rookie, Thomas Bertrand-Houdon.
Well, they're just taking turns, making bad decisions. The Elks did it on the last kick going the other way, and the Riders do it this time. No question about the call. I mean, that's dangerous play.
Yeah, a couple of
well
these
out of
have
bounds.
been.
Yeah.
There really haven't been many penalties in this game so far tonight. 5 on one side, 6 on the other. Kevin Brown is 6 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. Pushes this ahead, and that extra effort,
he might have got it.
Might have got it right there.
Push the pile for the last 4 to get to that 1,000-yard mark. See what they give him here. Maybe it'll just be 5. He's got a yard to go.
And they do give him the 6 that he needed. 1,000-yard season for Kevin Brown in just his 2nd with Edmonton. If you were looking for a running back that you can build around and turn things around, you've found him. They need 4 more, though, for a fresh set. Crowded Mosaic trying to get behind this defense. Ford gets it away quickly, and that one is just enough for the first down as he goes to Gavin Cobb for his first catch of the day.
Well, this is what Trey Ford is going to have to keep learning and getting good at. I mean, this is executed ideally. That's Cobb just floating away from the coverage that was on the inside shoulder. But that was full blitz because defenses are going to get frustrated with Trey Ford and send everybody.
We have hit the 3-minute warning here in the fourth quarter, and it is a good one. Stay with us. Trey Ford in the middle of that huddle trying to put together a drive to steal this one away, and what a turnaround it's been.
Well, you look at it, I mean, the points per game have jumped up, almost doubled the points allowed. When the offense is giving you a reason to believe, your quarterback gives you a reason to believe, the rest of the team reacts, and you drag everybody along, bring them up. And that's what Trey Ford has done.
First and 10 from the Rider 52. Back to Brown. And Brown gets to the line of scrimmage, not much further. Kevin Brown tonight has set a league high in rushing yards. He's at 171, surpassing the 156. That was the current high by Brady Oliveira.
So it comes down, this is a big down for the Riders. They want to get a chance, get the ball back to Dolagala. Chance to put a drive together. It's right now. So does Shivers, the defensive coordinator, send the blitz? And if he does, can Trey Ford read it and hit the hot?
Let's see how this plays out. 2nd and 8 from the 51. Riders heavy front, pushing through with a lot. Ford in trouble on the run, out to his right, still going, throws it down the field. A discussion on the far sideline. Did he haul this in? Cobb is standing there, waiting for a call, as are all of us.
I think they're saying it's a catch.
Holy smokes.
They have to make a ruling on the field to see if it's going to be either coach that wants to take another look at it possibly. Did he get his feet in and did he have control?
This play is being automatically reviewed by the command center. This is an automatic review.
That is about as close as you can get. The fact that we are even talking about this possibly being a catch is ridiculous from Gavin Cobb.
Okay, well, they've ruled it on the field as a catch. Craig Dickinson is getting that information, but they're wondering, I think what they're reviewing here is whether or not this ball is bobbled, not caught cleanly right there, just kind of reset. And by the time that happened, was he out of bounds? Now, if they say possession is gained when the ball hits his hands, I think that foot might be in. Right? The right toe might be in right there. But if he hasn't got control, the left foot hits the white stripe almost immediately after. This is going to be a tough one. But automatically reviewed, so Craig Dickinson didn't throw a challenge flag, didn't have to.
I think you could take a million looks at this one and still possibly be undecided depending on what team you're cheering for here. Let's get the ruling.
Upon automatic review, the ruling on the field is overturned. It's an incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd down at the 51-yard line.
Crowd at Mosaic loves it. So they did see enough to overturn the original call on the field.
Well, yeah, we're getting the word that it looked like the ball was juggled. So it wasn't, there was no possession, and then he went out of bounds. Trey Ford gets outside. By the way, for the record, it was full blitz from the Rider defense. Ford gets outside to avoid it and gives his receiver a chance. They're saying that wasn't possession. There was a juggle. The ball moved there and then regained as he hit the turf.
Huge moment in this ball game is now Edmonton will be forced to kick it away. Mario Alford waits, stalking around at the Rider 5.
Onside man.
Jake Taylor, I believe. Now this will be kicked away.
It's onside.
Alford hustling over there, bounces at the 12. Alford picks it up at the 4 and has to step out of bounds. So Dolagala will have to drive the field with 2 minutes left.
Well, Saskatchewan Roughriders coming in here tonight. They win, and it pushes Edmonton out of any chance to make the playoffs in the West Division. There would still be a chance to cross over. Edmonton, as you heard from Luchez Purifoy talking to Britt on the sideline at halftime, he said, we're playing playoff football. Because the Edmonton Elks are fighting for their playoff lives, have to have this win to stay in the fight, and they close in on Calgary right above them.
Trying to keep those slim hopes alive. Dolagala in his own end zone. He's in trouble. Will be taken down by the Edmonton defense.
Did he get out is the question, or is he in the end zone? Was he tackled in the end zone? So if he doesn't get out, it's a safety.
Looks like they will indeed say he got out, but that was close.
They'll put it on the 1 yard line. Yeah,
it almost looked like he was pushed out.
He gets caught there. AC Leonard cut in front of him. He almost gets tackled just on the goal line. Wow.
That's really close.
That'd be 2 points, and Edmonton gets the ball back. And they may be reviewing it.
And the whistles are blown. And this might be reviewed and end up being a safety.
A potential scoring play. Therefore, it's under automatic review by the command center.
Automatic review. See, Chris Jones has his flag. He was ready to throw it, but scoring play. Potential score, so they're going to review it.
Yeah, touchdown touchdown or any points, potential scoring, and this is potential safety. 2 points for Edmonton if they catch him in the end zone here, and they get the ball back, because
I don't know how you mark that. Like that's.
Well, does the ball get across?
Is it outside the right?
Exactly. Does the ball get to the one or to the outside of that goal line? We'd take a look and see if the ball is not entirely across the white stripe and into the playing field, it's a safety. I'm not sure it got there. Looked like the ball hit right on the white stripe. This may be a safety.
Came right down on it. They might actually end up ruling this a safety with 1 minute and 54 seconds on the clock. Let's find out.
Upon automatic review, the ruling on the field is overturned. It's a safety touch that's been scored by Edmonton.
Wow. Edmonton's lead grows by 2, 36-27. Jake Serezna. Can you say he's a little fired up?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this comes back to a really nice kick by Julian.
Well, it really does.
Right, dropped it in at the 4.
Right in the corner.
Finish the game.
And, you know, Edmonton will take the ball. They have the option. And they'll take it on their 40. But, you know, again, in his young journey for Jake Dolagala, that's the decision he's got to make and get the ball out of there. I mean, he's in his own end zone.
Edmonton will take the ball at their 40-yard line. They're going to scrimmage. First down for Edmonton.
Didn't have a ton of time. Edmonton brought that pressure right away, didn't they?
No, he didn't. Yeah. But, you know, an incomplete pass there. You get second down again.
Just get rid of it right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quick decision. I mean, it's easy to do from up here.
But yeah. Here, let's take another look at it.
Let's take another look. Like, get rid of it. Feel the pressure. Or dive forward, understanding.
Atchibong and Serezna were there to make sure he did not get out of the end zone. And all of a sudden, Edmonton leads by 9, has the ball back, less than 2 minutes to go. Back to Brown. Why not, really, with the night he's had, as long as he secures that football. Gets a couple of yards here.
A timeout's been called by Saskatchewan.
Basically,
this is their last team timeout.
Have to burn it here on 2nd and 8. get the stop and get the ball back with what, 1:20-25 left. Still an opportunity. The final 3 minutes, but you got to score twice. I mean, you're
few Elks fans sprinkled into the Rider green in the crowd here this evening. Trey Ford is 13 of 20 for 173 yards, a touchdown, and interception. But as a team, over 250 yards rushing for Edmonton. Coming into the game, 4th in the league. About 109 yards. Here's Ford. Taken down at the 35. Ball popped out after he went down. And the Riders will get the ball back with 1 minute and 44 seconds left, and one mission: move quickly.
Yeah, you got to. Jake Dolegala's got to get a couple big chunks. You're going to need an onside kick. You're going to need to recover that. But I'll tell you what, you mentioned it earlier about Trey Ford changing the fortune of a team, and one guy, one quarterback, maybe changing it for the entire franchise. I think he's expedited the rebuild in Edmonton by maybe 2 years. I mean, something that they probably would have taken 2-3 years to rebuild. Trey Ford is doing it in a season. It's worth the price of admission.
Towering punt. Alford takes it at the 20. Mario Alford, 55-yard kick return just outside the 31. So Edmonton able to contain Super Mario, and now Dolegala has to go back to work with just 74 seconds on the clock. Shannon Brooks on special teams there, the backup running back for Edmonton, is down and in a lot of pain. See some of the Riders staff out there helping Brooks. That does not look good. Called into duty a little bit tonight when Kevin Brown left the game momentarily.
The Riders have the season series against Edmonton. They go to 6-7, but the Elks on a tear go to 4 wins, tied with Calgary.
Not an easy schedule the rest of the way for Edmonton. Play a handful of the big boys between now and the end of the year.
Play BC, that's the big one next. Oh, now Toronto just wrapped up the division tonight.
Winnipeg later in the year too. Dolegala finds a window. It's Tevin Jones. That'll work up to midfield. Still going. Jones all the way down to the Edmonton 51. And a big chunk immediately is exactly what the Riders need.
Chris Jones' instructions there at the break were to make sure you stay over the top. Don't let anybody get in behind you and get a real quick strike. If they have to work for it and work down the field, that's one thing.
Dolegala near side, and that is in and out of the hands of the first-year Rider, Jareth Stearns. Right off his chest, it sounded like. 2nd and 10. Riders have won 3 in a row at home, and they're 4-2 at home on the season. 4-man pressure. Dolegala gets it away. First down just outside the Edmonton 35 as he goes right back to Stearns, and this time 83 hangs on.
He's got a couple of enemies here. He's got the clock that he's fighting and the Elks. By the way, we've mentioned a couple of times, I'm not sure if all the viewers understand that when a player gets hurt and the training staff comes out, they have to sit out for 3 plays. And the reason that rule was changed years and years ago was that there was occasionally guys that went down when they wanted a timeout.
Yeah. Just take a little bit of a breather for everybody else, eh?
Yeah, well, basically they were trying to get free timeouts, and there were some coaches, and this is years and years ago, but there were coaches that would basically they would basically go and have a designated player
that would know it's
in a drive like this. We need a timeout. Just go down and pretend you're hurt. Now they don't do that anymore because that player will have to leave for 3 plays at the very least.
Adjabong is up and walking off the field. Riders will work from the Edmonton 36. They're going to need a number of things to go right. Trailing by 9 after a safety. Dolagala takes what he has, and it falls incomplete. Morrow, who's been so steady in the pass game this season, has that one go in and out of his hands.
I've seen a couple of those tonight. I think early on in that 70-yarder that Dolagala threw to Emlis that bounced off his hands ended up being an interception. Was a real accurate throw. I think, you know, if Dolagala looks in the mirror, he'll probably say the one play he'd like back is when he gave up the safety, obviously.
42 seconds left. Dolagala, another completion. And that'll be close to a first down, but that clock continues.
Now you got to just take a shot at the end zone. I mean,
pretty much have to, right? You got to score and get the ball back still. Just no time left.
Two more outs isn't going to hurt. Isn't going to help you. Keeps the Elks alive in this whole playoff run in the West for that 3rd spot.
Dolagala go to the end zone here. Yes, he will. Broken up by Edmonton's defense. Laid it out there for Schaefer Baker, but a couple of defenders were able to get there in time. Darius Bratton and Marcus Lewis.
I think Schaefer Baker actually had some space here. Dolagala, well, they closed pretty quickly. Give Schaefer Baker a chance to try and win a jump ball.
3 passing touchdowns in this game for Dolagala already. 4 options out to his left. In trouble and taken down. Edmonton's defense hammers him again. Curtis Serezna somersaulting their way here at Mosaic.
Trying to get it lined up and go on 3rd down, but you're right. This is yet another, you know, textbook brilliant display of athleticism from Trey Ford in this offense.
Dolagala heaves one towards the end zone again. Almost caught. Holy smokes. Off the hands of Bratton. Dropped down in the direction of Emlis. But he wasn't able to get it, and Edmonton is going to roll into Mosaic and pick up a win against the Riders for just the 2nd time since 2018.
Boy, had a chance, didn't he? Now with 7 seconds, not enough time to do what needed to get done to try and win that game, although
another big win here for
absolutely.
Edmonton.
Elks are right back in the fight for that final playoff spot in the West, and Trey Ford put on a show again.
Riders still in a pretty good spot too, really, with where Calgary and Edmonton are at. There's still some cushion here for the Riders, even though they weren't able to get this win, but that's back-to-back losses now for Saskatchewan after the beatdown in the Banjo Bowl and dropping one here at home. But Trey Ford gets the job done. His running back, Kevin Brown, leading the way in this one, though. 175 yards on the ground for Kevin Brown. Nobody in the league has ran the ball better than Kevin Brown ran it tonight for Edmonton. The Edmonton Elks are heating up. Their hopes of a playoff spot still slim, but they had to have this one, and they get it done tonight on the road. We're trailing 10-0 early. They come back to win it 36-27, and the red-hot Edmonton Elks have won 4 of their last 5. Doubleheader coming your way tomorrow in the Canadian Football League as well. That'll do it for us. Sports Center is next.
Come on in. Welcome to Sports Center. Jermaine Franklin, Adam Scully here with you. And Scully, how about those Edmonton Elks? They were a punchline for the first half of the season. The last 6 weeks, they have been no joke. Incredible.
Playing some great football right now. Really the talk of the season's their comeback right now. Winners of 3 of their last 4 heading into this one. A lights out theme at Mosaic Stadium. Players entering in darkness. Fans given special light up glasses. Those are pretty funky. Jake Dolegala making his 4th straight start. He's got a 2-1 record first quarter. Finds Sean Bain Jr. for the 13-yard score. 10-zip Riders after 1. Meantime, the Elks, winners of 3 of their last 4, second quarter. Taylor Cornelius in short yardage. Fakes the sneak, finds D lineman AC Leonard for the touchdown. Elks with some trickery. They trailed 13-10 at the break. Let's go back now to Dolegala. Riders driving in the third, finds Kevin Jones. 26-yard catch and run for the TD. Dolegala, perfect 5 for 5 on the drive. Riders now up by 7. Still in the third. Kevin Brown takes the handoff, bounces outside, runs it in. Brown over the 100-yard mark for a second straight game. That ties it at 20. The Elks had some trickery in the first half. The Riders turn in the third quarter. Antonio Pipkin in for short yardage, fakes the sneak, finds Jamal Morrow. Morrow takes it deep into Elks territory. 2 plays later, Dolegala to Bain again. Bain's second touchdown of the night, 27-20 Riders. Now Edmonton looking to answer in the fourth quarter.
Returning due to injury, 2nd and 17. Ford in trouble, spins to his left, stays on his feet. Now Ford with time, looking down the field, throwing to the end zone, touchdown! Geno Lewis, some magic from the fabulous Ford, and he drops it into Lewis, and the Elks answer back.
What a play from Trey Ford. Escapes the pressure, finds Geno Lewis. That ties it at 27. 6 minutes to play. The Elks driving again. Ford this time keeps it himself for the score. The Elks take their first lead of the night, 34-27. Now less than 2 minutes left. Dolegala under pressure. Take it down in his own end zone. You know what that means? That is a safety, and that is as close as the Riders would get. The Elks are playing quite the ball right now. Winners of 4 of their last 5. They take this one 36-27. The final. These two teams always seem to play a close game. Their previous 11 meetings had all been decided in the final 3 minutes and featured 31 lead changes. Kevin Brown with a huge game for Edmonton, setting a new season high for rushing yards in a game. Coming in, the Riders were 9-1 in the last 10 games against Edmonton.
Argonauts, Alouettes, with a win, Toronto could clinch the East Division title for a 3rd consecutive season. Less than 5 minutes to go now. Toronto down 7, facing 3rd and 3 from deep in their own territory. Chad Kelly barely gets the throwaway, taking a big hit, looking for DeMonte Coxie. Deontay Ruffin called for pass interference, giving Toronto a huge first down. Later in the drive, with less than 3 minutes to go, Kelly airs it out for Coxie, and he makes the tough grab. Looks to have the tying touchdown, but hold on. Argos O-lineman Dijon Allen called for unnecessary roughness, so the TD is called back. Toronto would turn it over on downs on the next play, but this is the CFL. No lead is safe. After Montreal went 2 and out, Toronto with the ball back with 2 minutes to go.
Right, Coxie, double move, down the sideline, touchdown Argos! Oh my God. Bombs away from Chad Kelly.
Owls fans are stunned after having his first touchdown called back. Coxie cooks his man with an outstanding move and hauls in the game-tying TD, but still lots of time on the clock for Montreal to retake the lead. Just over a minute to go. Montreal in Argos territory. Cody Fajardo takes a big hit and throws up a duck. That is easily picked up by Jamal Peters, and Peters with a big return, setting up Toronto for the go-ahead field goal. So with less than 30 seconds to go, Boris Beattie with a 38-yarder to give the Argos the lead. Snap is high, but David Unger with a nice job getting the ball down, and Beattie's kick is good. So Toronto takes a 3-point lead late in this one. All right, with just 15 seconds on the clock, Montreal with the ball at their 32-yard line. Fajardo threads the needle to Tyson Philpott, and Philpott gets it into Argos territory. We're in business. Then, with no time on the clock, Montreal with a 45-yard field goal attempt to try and tie the game.
One away from 45. Good snap. Good hold. It's blocked. It's blocked. The double blue block ends.
What? Exactly. What? The Argos blocked the potential game-time field goal. A wild ending to this one, capping off a ridiculous fourth quarter. The Argos improved to 11-1 for the first time in their team's 150-year history as they clinch the East Division for the third straight season. All right, Toronto sweeping Montreal in back-to-back games for the first time since 2007. They also won all 3 games in their season series. Toronto has dominated the East, going a perfect 8-0 against division opponents dating back to August 2022. Chad Kelly was sacked for the first time in over 300 minutes of game time. For more, let's go to Kate in the panel.
Alongside David Sanchez, Jim Barker, Milt Siegel, and 2 fantastic games to kick off Week 15 in the CFL. We begin with the best team in the league in the Toronto Argonauts. And, Jim, they didn't look like the best team for a lot of this game. But as we say, winners find ways to win. That's exactly what the Argonauts did, and it came right down to the wire.
What an amazing way to clinch the Eastern Division Championship. For 3.5 quarters, their offense didn't play well. Their defense in the third quarter didn't play great, and Montreal came down, scored twice. But with less than 5 minutes to play, they got the ball inside their 10 and had third down, and Ryan Dinwiddie said, we're going for this. They went for it. They got a pass interference penalty, and that kind of set them off. Then Chad Kelly took them down the field. They score a touchdown, gets called back. So they have to kick a field goal, then they end up going down and winning the game with a throw to Coxie. And then even at the end of the game, the last drive, they had 7 or 8 seconds left, complete a pass down, get into field goal range, and Dwayne Hickson goes through and blocks the field goal. So it was a great way for them to clinch the Eastern Division with 6 games still to play.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how they monitor these players now moving forward. And then not to be outdone, the Roughriders and the Elks had a phenomenal game as well. And we've been talking about Trey Ford so much as of late, and rightly so. We wonder maybe at some points, okay, maybe he's not going to do this. Maybe he's not going to be able to run the way he's been running.
Maybe we're overhyping him.
Maybe we are slightly. No, you know what? We're not. We're not.
At all.
Hype train is fully steamed ahead right now.
It's incredible. It's the things that I saw tonight. Again, we coming into the week. It's can he do it again? The defenses have film on him now for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I mean, over and over, we keep looking at ways that teams are going to shut him down. And you asked me this question earlier in the week. You asked me, if you were to start a franchise, would you ask me if I was to start a franchise?
If you start a franchise and you had to pick a quarterback between Trey and Chad Kelly, who would you go with?
Yeah, and I was kind of wavering back and forth and all this, and I ended up saying Chad. And the reality is, after this game, unequivocally, no doubt about it, it's bold. I take Trey Ford as my quarterback. Okay, look, we're sitting here, guys. We're saying, okay, wait a minute. We're saying he's scrambling around. And you said, why aren't they spying him? Why aren't you spying Trey? Well, they're spying him. Yeah. But they can't catch him. Nope. Who are you going to spy him with? Nope. Your punt returner? Because nobody else can run with him. And when you're buying time with Trey right now, and the way he's breaking the will of defenses, he's playing incredible football. It's fun to watch.
It's hard to get ready for him because you have no one on your team who can duplicate what he does in the game. I mean, he's performing surge. You look at his stats, we only threw 173 yards, but he rushed for 70 yards. That's more impactful sometimes than throwing for a bunch of yards because that's creating those plays on 2nd and long, and you got a quarterback who's still getting them done. And then the running game. Kevin Brown, once again, you talk about the byproduct of having that great quarterback in there. He's doing a great job. He's feeding off of it, over 170 yards. They're doing some great things. It would have been interesting to see if Trey would have been playing earlier in the season where this team could have gone. Will they make the playoffs? It's going to be difficult, but this team is exciting to watch.
But the fact that we're even saying playoffs when it comes to the Elks, I think is remarkable. And then on the flip side for the Toronto Argonauts, already clinched the East in Week 15. What an incredible run so far by them as we send it back to SportsCenter.
New on SC, here's Kevin Brown with our Britt Dort.
All right, what a performance by you and your team. You guys keep your Western playoff hopes alive. What can you say after that win?
We just came out fast. You know, we got to start fast, be physical up front, and run the ball, you know what I'm saying? And we got to know our assignments.
Well, I'm not sure if you heard about your numbers. 175 rushing yards. You got the touchdown. You passed 1,000 rushing yards in your season tonight. How does it feel to hear all that?
Honestly, I'm blessed, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to do it without God himself and my team and the coaching staff for calling the plays and the guys up front. You know, I got to give it up to them. And the receivers blocking downfield, like Geno Lewis when I got that touchdown. That wouldn't have happened if he wasn't, you know, on his P's and Q's and blocking downfield for me.
Well, I'll keep you bragging on your teammates here. It wasn't just you that was able to run the ball. What can you say about Trey Ford and his ability out there?
He's like a little squirrel, you know what I'm saying? It's a compliment. He's fast, shifty. It's hard to catch him, you know? So it's great to have a dual threat like Trey. He could throw it and he could run it, and then put me in the mix. You don't know who's going to get it. So, yeah.
Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at the CFL standings. The Elks managed to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. They've won 4 of their last 5 after beginning the season 0-9. At 6-7, the Riders remain 3rd in the West. And take a look at those Argos, 11-1, best in the league. All right, new on SC. Let's go to Trey Ford with Britt Dort.
Well, Trey, your teammates told me this week that the first 2 matchups against Saskatchewan this year, they felt like they should have won. This was your first start against Saskatchewan in your career, and you get the win. How does it feel?
Amazing, definitely amazing for the other guys on our team, too, because I definitely think we should have won those first 2 games looking back. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot, but happy we could get the win today.
Well, let's talk about the fact you kept your playoff hopes alive when it comes to the West. How does it feel to know that you're still in the hunt?
I mean, it's a great feeling to know, but I mean, we're in a spot where we got to take it week by week. I mean, I think we need some other things to happen, so all we can do is control what we can do, and that's going out every weekend and trying to win.
Well, I talked to your teammate Kevin Brown. What can you say about his performance tonight? He passed 1,000 rushing yards on the season.
He's a little bit faster than he looks. You know, I always joke with him that I'm faster than him, but he was moving today. We may have to race to settle it, so.
Well, you told me you would maybe do a celly if you got into the end zone. You did, and I didn't get to see the celly, so I'm giving you an opportunity to do the wave right now.
The faithful right there.
There you go. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate it. Thank you.